Good morning, ladies and germs. It is week 12 of fantasy football. You are welcomed in to the Sunday Social. This is a Sunday Social that is going a little differently than how we normally have done it for the first 11 weeks. But
you could have just did a Sunday Social shit show, Mike LaPlant. That would have been funny.
I was trying to keep it family friendly. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's been a mess. It's been a mess. Unfortunately, the rankings were down for a little bit on the website. They are back up. I did get that from Joe, but because of it, Joe is not able to do his ranking segment this morning, unfortunately. But if you're in the Discord, get in there and ask your questions to him because he is answering them, all them live. I've just seen it. And if you're not in the Discord, make sure you go to fantasy6pack.net/plans and sign up for a membership. You can get direct access to them. Otherwise, there are some free channels in that Discord that you can get away with. Maybe if you get lucky, he'll answer that in the general chat for you. Maybe not, but it's worth the risk. So before we jump into things, I just want to welcome in, as always, to my right, I got Dylan, and then down below me, I got JJ. Another part of this shit show is Alan is not here. So we're just going to jump right into your start sit questions, guys. So, normally, we let them build up here, but ask them right away. And we're just going to go right into it. And then afterwards, we have the DFS guys like normal to help set your DFS lineup. So stick around after that as well. That'll be at 12 p.m. EST. So JJ, before we really hop into it, I'm curious, man, what's your favorite game on the slate for fantasy points? Where do you think this eruption of fantasy points is going to come from today? With all these buys for.
Okay, I'm glad you made that clarification of today because I was a little torn between the Monday game and another one, but that makes it pretty easy now. I think it's going to be the Lions and the Colts, man. I think that there's just a lot of potential for fantasy points in that one. On the Colts side, you get Richardson, JT, Josh Downs, my boy. Hopefully, Michael Pittman at some point will get it straightened out, and I could use that in a few leagues. On the other side, obviously, you got the Lions. Just I don't even need to tell you guys about the Lions. We all know about their superstars on that side. So that one's probably my favorite one, and we'll give like a shout out second place to the Vikings Bears. I think that one has like a lot of fantasy potential too.
Yeah. And I think one that on today's slate that I like is the Cardinals Seahawks game. I know it's a divisional showdown, but I mean the games between the Cardinals and the Seahawks aren't really like slogfest like we saw on Thursday night versus the Browns and the Steelers. So, I mean, Arizona's coming off the bye. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for this. Seattle's defense isn't really what it was in the beginning of the year. So, and Seattle's offense is throwing at, I believe still a league high rate with Geno Smith. So the volume is there for a potential shootout, and I really love that game. And to be honest, JJ, I need it against Dylan over here. I need Marvin Harrison Jr. to go off. I need one of those, one of those games from him this week.
No, you're not okay with that. JJ, come on, man.
Just a little Marvin Harrison. I mean, then again, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure every team that I do have Marvin Harrison on is rebuilding at this point. So, like, I probably should root against those points at this point. But yeah.
Oh, man. And I lost Devontae Smith against him, so I have to swing in Jameson Williams to that one. So
I have him in the the half Empire League we're all in. So that one was a tough one. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure the one that we're in together, I have him in. So yeah, that's a bummer.
But yeah, so I need some explosion weeks here from Jameson Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. Please and thank you, fantasy gods. Good morning, Albert. It's nice to see you. Always one of the first ones here. And then, of course, we got Jamie. Morning, Jamie. Hope you're doing well.
Started the heat, too, on the first question for
us.
Got a little Trey Lance, Joe Flacco.
I think it's Trey Lance. It's Trey Lance, 100%. Just because after the game Anthony Richardson had last week, they're not going to be putting Joe Flacco in again. But Cooper Rush, he maybe. I mean, there's still more of a chance he could, be benched.
I mean, I don't think you get like a package drawn up for him or something.
Yeah, even that too.
Yeah. Who is so this is like a rough week. I don't know about for you guys, but for me, I have like some teams where it's just between injuries and buys. Like I'm just like,
it's rough.
Who is the worst player that you're starting in like the league this week?
Oh man,
I can't think of it. I try to not think of it when when it's like that.
I'm definitely starting Jalen Naylor in one league, which I don't love.
Okay, I have like Amir Abdullah going in a couple of them, and that one doesn't feel too great.
Oh man,
like there's one league.
Leagues is rough. I'm trying to
pull the wide receivers this week with all the buys and then the Devontae Smith news. Man, where am I?
Oh, I'm
Yes.
starting Dylan Lobby. That's the answer.
Okay.
Dylan Lobby.
That's like in that like Amir Abdullah range, I would say. Like he's kind of in that same realm right there. Yeah. That's
I
pretty
mean, me and Dylan do have to start like between these two players in a league we co-manage, we have to start Adam Thielen and Gus Edwards in the same lineup.
That's tough. I got Austin Hooper in one. That one's like a shout out. Like I'm excluding my rebuilding teams because I have like some absolute shenanigans going on a few of those rosters where it's like, why is that guy starting? It's like because I don't want to win or score points.
Thankfully, before the trade deadline, I did some shopping for some, just depth.
On that note, too, for my dynasty leagues, all the trade deadlines is next week. So by the end of the week 13 games, you got to have all your trades in. Just friendly heads up. I'll go post it in all the chats today.
Appreciate that.
You guys are getting your first heads up officially.
I gotta make some moves, man. My dynasty teams have not had a good year this year, that's for sure. So yeah, but it sucks. I was choosing between I was trying to figure out who to go between Dylan Lobby or Calvin Austin. Evidently, there's a good chance I made the wrong decision because Calvin Austin caught the touchdown in the blizzard. So yeah, that definitely not ideal start. Not an ideal start. Projected to score 95 points in that league. So gotta love that.
We do, and guys, just so you know, I know because this is a little bit unorganized. I mean, I wouldn't say unorganized, but just not how we normally do things. We are doing this. We're doing all your start sit questions right now, so get them all in because we do have other start sit questions that we said we would answer on a previous post, but you guys are here live. We're going to get to you first if you get them in. And we do have one here, Dylan, if you have the time to help out your friend Brody. He wants to know, do you start Jordan Love this week or Tua Tagovailoa?
I'm going Jordan Love.
Yeah,
slightly. I know Tua's got a good matchup against the Patriots. I talked about it on the Friday show, but I'm still gonna lean Love here. I know he hasn't been great as of late. He's got all his weapons back. San Francisco's banged up. No Nick Bosa.
Did we worry at all about like a blowout and then it's been like a heavy Josh Jacobs game without like Purdy and everyone there?
That's what I think might happen, but at the same time,
blowout proof,
At the same time, I feel like.
Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I was just gonna say at the same time, I feel like Love could dump off one of those passes, whether it's to Josh Jacobs or even like Emmanuel Wilson, because he's going to be involved too as well.
And I don't know if a blowout's going to happen. I kind of have faith in Kyle Shanahan here to kind of rely on Christian McCaffrey, maybe work Jordan Mason in the game, and just go run heavy here and try to control the clock and keep that Packers.
That would be bad for Love. Yeah,
that's true too. As I'm talking about it, yeah.
And I'm just like thinking of like last time I feel like Purdy didn't play was like the playoff game, and that was pretty rough once he went out of there. And so hopefully it's not that bad again. But I don't know. I feel like my gut. I think I kind of lean Tua here, and that's surprising. I'm a big Jordan Love guy, but I think I kind of like Tua this week.
I still lean on Love just because of the touchdown upside, because I just think Love has more upside to throw touchdowns, which is crazy to say with Tua having Tyreek Hill, but Jalen Waddle has been absolutely non-existent, and it seems like it's been dump offs to Achane or even a dump off to Tyreek Hill in the red zone to get these touchdowns. So I lean Love, but it is close because I am worried that just like what Dylan said, Shanahan can control the clock, especially against the Packers defense. But I still go Love, more upside.
I was talking to Brody about it as well this morning, and the Dolphins, it always seems like they get in the end zone on the ground. Like you said, Mike, it feels like it's not a lot of passing touchdowns from Tua. So
it's really good. Every game it's like Tua has like 290 passing yards and like one touchdown, like 312 yards.
Yeah.
Man.
It kind of caps his ceiling at that for sure with the no rushing floor either. So. Brody.
Yeah, at least Love gets you a little bit of a rushing floor, kind of. I mean, it's not much, but it's more than Tua.
Shout out to Brody and Brooke, though, his wife. Mike, I don't know if you saw on Facebook this morning. They're expecting a baby.
Oh, congratulations, guys.
Yes.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. A little green.
A little green. There you go. We got another one here from Jamie, Mike. Michael Wilson or Juwan Jennings? What do we do with Juwan Jennings now? Or Brandon Allen at quarterback. A ton of start sits on the post that we're going to get into a little bit about Juwan Jennings. And I found myself going to him in a couple instances, and this might be one of them here. But I don't know. What is your guys' take on Juwan Jennings this week?
I'll let you go first, JJ, if you want.
I mean, I feel like he's gonna play the same role he always does, as kind of like the chain mover. So I feel like there's a 50% chance that he kind of has like his normal game that we see every time, just because I feel like his role is kind of quarterback proof, because like there's gonna be third downs with this team most likely this week. So like they're gonna need someone in the target on those. But I also see that opposite side where like it's how it was in the playoff game when Purdy went down and they're just like a complete shit show on the offensive side. That being said, though, seems like Juwan Jennings all year long, like there's like, oh, now Ayuk's back, now this is happening, and he just continues to put up steady numbers every single week. So my gut kind of leans more towards, I think if I had to put money on it, I think there's a higher chance he finishes more in that 8 to 12 PPR point range than a bust this week, honestly. So I think I lean the Jennings side here.
I look at it like how we took on that question, Dylan, on Friday when Anthony Richardson was in there with Caleb Williams, Tua, and I can't remember the other one, but
Will
it was just
Levis, I think, was the other one.
Yeah. So these were all options with basically no ceiling besides Anthony Richardson. All right. I think at this point, because of the floor with Brandon Allen, Jennings, it's still a little safer than Michael Wilson, but I think also with Brandon Allen, the ceiling is a little higher in Michael Wilson's favor in this matchup. Yeah, with Kyler and, against the Seattle defense. So I look at it as, it's one of those things. Do you want to play it safe or do you want to reach for the stars? Because if you want to play it safe, in most cases, I'd still go Juwan Jennings because he's going to be safer than Michael Wilson and in most other options. But I mean, if you're down bad, and you need some points and reach for the stars, I mean, go Michael Wilson, because I just don't know if Jennings is going to have that 3 touchdown game he had with Brock Purdy earlier in the year.
I don't think the 3 touchdown game is there, but like maybe like that, like 5 for 65 or
maybe,
something.
Yeah. Where we've seen
And
Michael Wilson
we've
seen Michael Wilson get 2
touchdowns.
Points. Yeah, it's super safe. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just if you're reaching for the stars, go that Michael Wilson route. At least you have that option because it's rough right now.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm going to go Juwan Jennings as well.
All right. Looks like Chris Robbins got one here. Troy Beastie. He's got Trey Benson, Javonte Williams, and Cam Akers. Pick 2, please. All right.
Javonte
so
for sure, right? Like that's an easy
yeah.
one.
Out of these options, Javonte, and then I'm gonna go and lean with Trey Benson here. If you haven't checked out Joe Bond's usage and trends article, he is high on Trey Benson, and there's a reason. They have been working him into this offense more recently. Increased snap counts on all 3 games before the bye week, and increasing in the touches. You guys know as well as I do that James Conner has never played a full season in the NFL. So we're getting down here. I mean, I know Dylan's a believer that he might, but James Conner's, I think, is going to get hurt here. And I don't root for injuries, but it's happened it's happened every single year. So
it's the anomaly season, Mike.
What I'm saying though is, the Cardinals are aware of this too. And how did the Cardinals prevent James Conner from getting injured? Working in Trey Benson even more this week, so he's fresh. So I'd go Trey Benson and Javonte Williams in this case. I don't like Cam Akers against the Bears.
That's it. You're basically just hoping for a touchdown again from Cam Akers if you're going that route. And hopefully Aaron Jones is a little bit more effective this week. I'm hoping. A lot of teams could use that. I'm good. Javonte for sure. I'm good going Benson there. Loved him coming out of the draft. I'm a little surprised it's taken him this long to really carve out a role, but again, I'm just every single year I'm one of the biggest haters on James Conner, and he just makes me look stupid for 75% of the year until he does get hurt, like you mentioned. And this just looks like it's another one of those years where I'm just eating crow until something happens. So, but yeah, I'm good with Benson.
I'm hoping he doesn't get injured. I mean, all year we haven't really had a major running back injury. Knock on wood, thank God. But I mean, it is an anomaly. It's weird.
UMC, I guess you kind of count that one if that counts.
But that was preseason, I guess. Calvo, what's up, man?
Yep.
It's nice of you to join us. Thank you. He's got Jordan Addison this week or Jameson Williams, PPR.
That's a good one.
My answer. Dylan does at least. I'm a big JMO guy. I do like Addison, don't get me wrong, but Sam Darnold's going to have his pumpkin week if he hasn't already had it, against the Bears. So, I mean, you're pretty much you're hoping on a big touchdown either way in this situation is how I look at it. So give me the one who's got better QB and a better matchup.
I'm with you. I'll go with the better matchup and stuff as well. I'll go with Jameson Williams here. I do like me some Addison, especially if he gets lined up with Tyreek Stevenson, who has not been good since the little waving to the fans during the Hail Mary play. So Addison's intriguing, man. He's been coming on lately as well, but I think I'm with you, Mike, and go with Jameson Williams. And we've seen the Lions just keep their foot on the gas pedal, even in big leads and stuff. So he'll have his chances throughout the whole entire game. So I'm going to go Jama.
Yeah, man, you have kind of convinced me on it this year. I have a league this last week where I officially made a trade and I added JMO to the roster. So
yeah,
you converted me. Let's go JMO here today.
Yeah, I remember getting a lot of I think it was like 6 weeks ago from Keith Dillon. I was talking with him. I was like, man, what can I get for my first round pick in this Empire League? And it just wasn't really working out. So I went and fielded another offer. I'm like, Jameson Williams for my first round pick. Gimme. And I got flack for it from Keith. And I was like, you know what? It's looking good now. And I just want it to keep looking good.
Yeah, especially if it's going to be a late first. I mean, sure, you maybe could have got a little bit more. But I mean, when you look back on it, assuming JMO keeps growing, you're going to be just fine with that.
I'm hoping so, man. And it's one of those things where it doesn't feel like Laporta's involved in this offense as much as he was last year.
So weird. Yeah.
And it could
no, that's a fact, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but it's weird. I mean, how do you just get? It's like me in college. College football, Dylan. I'll use one player 1 year, and it's like next year, it's like, nah, I'm good. I found another
just
player.
Sit him on the bench, yeah.
I don't even sit him on the bench. He's just on the field, ain't doing anything. It's like it's what Laporta's doing, but Laporta still. I mean, with how tight ends are, you can still get away with him. But I think Jameson Williams is the reason, the answer why Laporta is having such a down year compared to last year.
Ooh,
so I ride the lightning.
Chris is liking the big Laporta game incoming, and he said he promises.
He does. He's a big Laporta guy. I know he is.
Got another one here from Jalen Waddle, Romeo Dobbs, Nick Westbrook, Akeen. Maybe Akeen.
My gut says the first two, but Akeen has been pretty solid in I think like 3 of the last 4 weeks. If I was looking at him this week on the waivers in one league.
Touchdowns, right, with Akeen? That's what it's been.
Yeah. I'll still go Waddle and Dobbs, but I can kind of see like if you're feeling frisky and you want to try and get a little wild and throw Akeen in there, I can see it.
Mm-hmm. I'm starting Romeo Dobbs, my wide receiver 3 in the league. It's the matchup against Mike here, so I'm going to go with Dobbs. I think he'll be fine here.
I hate it.
4 for 50. Get you a nice solid 9 points in PPR. Hopefully he catches a touchdown with that as well.
I hate it, JJ, because he's making me want to play Christian Watson to counter his Romeo Dobbs just because he has to play him. And like I'm hurting, man, for my flex. I got Christian Watson, Keenan Allen, Rico Dowdle, and Wan'Dale Robinson. So it's like, man, get
Watson or Robinson there, but I think you're good.
I'm scared of Robinson with DeVito. I know I told Dylan last year that DeVito was all right with him, but I am worried. But am I stupid to play Christian Watson just because he's playing Romeo Dobbs against me?
I mean,
I think you're stupid, but I don't know if it's because of that.
That's fair. I'll give you that. But to answer your question, Chris, I would go Romeo Dobbs in this one. I can't start Jalen Waddle anymore. He's on the bench until further notice.
It's 2, man.
Yeah, so you're going then as your second?
He scored 5 touchdowns in the last 6 games.
I get it, man.
I honestly am going to go Romeo Dobbs and Westbrook Akine. Because here's the thing. At this point, Jalen Waddle has no floor.
Yeah,
so
you can't even say taste the volume with Waddle because the volume's not even really there with him this year.
Exactly. And I mean, Westbrook Akine really doesn't have any volume either, but at this point, he's got a better ceiling. He scored 5 touchdowns out the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It's ugly, man. It's ugly, but give me Dobbs and Westbrook Akine.
Yeah, I think I lean that way. And not Chris, if you're building a DFS, if that's a big DFS line. Here.
If we win, I want my cut, and if we lose, I want that happens.
I might go Waddle here if it's for the DFS line because he's probably going to be owned by under 2% of people this week, I would assume. So maybe go there. I would assume Akine is going to be more rostered than Waddle.
This is probably going to be cheaper,
yeah. Brody told me to shut it about the James Conner. I know, man. I know. Gary's got a question here. Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnson, Michael Pittman. Pick 2. Ooh. Oh, Quentin
Give me
Johnson
Keenan
for sure.
Allen and give me Quentin Johnston here.
Man, it's
Best
tempting with
matchup
that
for QJ. Keenan Allen
It's
looks a little bit more useful with Thomas Brown taking over. A really good matchup against Minnesota through the 4 receivers, nothing else, but it's a good matchup for receivers. So I'm gonna go Allen. I'm gonna go Johnston.
Man, it's close. Okay, Keenan Allen has edged out Michael Pittman in targets because they both have a primo matchup. But yeah, I'll take Keenan Allen, just a little bit safer of a floor with Quentin Johnston.
I'm so out on Michael Pittman, guys.
It's tough, man. He's been one of my biggest misses this year.
It's tempting because the Lions secondary ain't that great either. They just lost Alexander Zaloni. I mean, Anthony Richardson's coming off a career game in passing yards, so like it is tempting to play Pittman this week.
I'm in a few leagues just because I have to. So
agreed. I mean, he's starting a couple dynasty leagues of mine as well, but I don't know. I don't see big games coming from him with Anthony Richardson at quarterback. We talked about this earlier in the season. I just feel like their 2 skill sets don't seem to line up with one another.
Yeah, one of your better calls of the year, I got to admit, like looking back on the preseason, like I like Downs too, but like I did not expect Downs to be like the clear number 1. Like
right.
Been pretty great for a lot of my dynasty teams, honestly, that it worked out like that. But yeah, I did not expect Pittman. I think just like the Colts were one of my bigger misses in general. Like I like the Cardinals and their offense has been pretty good for fantasy, but I thought the Colts would be right there with them, and that has not been the case for them. It's been a bit of a mess.
I hope Richardson last week was a confidence boost, and I hope that is a sign for more things to come for sure. The fantasy industry has so far bought right back in, JJ, on Anthony Richardson after 1 week. How do you feel about the situation? Because I'm not the type of person who could just dive right back in and be like, oh, he's top 5 quarterback again.
Yeah, like I'm okay just kind of being like, I'm going to sit back and watch happen and just be like, I might have been wrong, and that's okay. And like, I might have been wrong about being wrong. Like, he looks like he's back. And he might be good. So like, I don't know. Like, I've always had him in like the QB like 9 to 12 range. So like, I haven't been like way bought in on him at Dynasty. Like, where I've seen some people had him at like Dynasty QB1. So it's like, I understand why they're dug in and like right back in on him. But so I feel like I've kind of always been like where I like the upside, but I don't think he's a guaranteed smash. So I kind of feel the same as I always have been. I think the little bit 2 week reset, it might have been good for him. We've seen Bryce Young look a little bit better since he got benched and just came back in. So I liked the potential of this Colts offense in the preseason. So maybe now we'll finally get to see a little bit of what I was thinking we would down the stretch. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm definitely not looking to go out and buy Richardson unless you're getting him for like a second rounder, like some stupid discount, but I'm not really looking to sell him either. If I've like wrote it out this far, I think at this point, it makes sense just to kind of ride out the rest of the year and just see what happens. Like, hopefully you're sitting on gold there and it doesn't end up blowing up in your face, but you waited this long, you went through the benching, you wrote it out, you went through the injuries. I think at this point, let's see where it goes.
All right.
And I've heard this week from a few reputable sites, they had Anthony Richardson as a top 5 QB, man. But I just looked at Joe's rankings. He has him as QB9 with 6 teams on bye, and I think that's fair.
Yeah,
he's got him QB9.
Back end QB1 upside. And you're right, Jordan. I did miss a couple of questions here. My bad, guys. Jamie.
Oh, no, you're good. I was just scrolling up and saw him.
He's got Lil Jordan Humphrey or Jalen Tolbert.
Man, I guess off the top of my head, I don't.
Is Brandon Cooks coming back, Jordan?
He's not off the IR. I saw the update. He's
technically
so Tolbert it's still Tolbert.
I think I go over here, but to be completely honest, off the top of my head, I'm not sure what Lil Jordan Humphrey's line has been off the last couple of weeks. I'm not sure really what he's done. So
no, he caught a touchdown, I think, 2 weeks ago, but I'm honestly, I'm not 100% sure what he's done.
I feel like I don't have him in any league, so I lean Tolbert with like that thing. I honestly don't know off the top of my head what Humphrey's done the last few weeks, so probably Tolbert. I mean, that probably says something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has 12 targets. Yeah, he's got 12 targets, 8 receptions, 86 yards, and 1 touchdown the last 3 weeks. 22.
Okay, that's not bad actually. That's better than I thought. Yeah,
targets a game.
But then let's see what Tolbert has here.
Probably not 12 targets.
Actually, he's had 16.
Really? We just had that bad. I guess Cooper Rush did the ball like 50 times last week. So I guess
What a game plan for Mike McCarthy, JJ. Last week.
It's honestly like in a weird way. It's kind of like as someone who's always been a McCarthy hater and hated the signing. It's kind of just like I'm glad that this is like let's just just melt it down and fire everybody this offseason. Go to Kellen Moore and get on your knees and be like, please come back, be our head coach, and bring him back in, and then just
it's gonna be Bill Belichick, man, is what it's gonna be.
It probably will be, and that's gonna be frustrating.
I'd go Tolbert in this situation. He's just seen more targets, although he has the same amount of receptions. He just he has less yards. He's got a touchdown too in the past 3 weeks. I don't know, man. That one's a tough one. Lil Jordan Humphrey's like what, the 4th option on that offense, and this one's Jalen Tolbert's what, the third option here. So
Fergie's out.
I do like the matchup against the Commanders secondary though. I think Tolbert can take advantage of that, maybe for just one play, but
unless Dan Quinn just owns them because it's his old team. Yeah, I do too.
That's another guy. Go back to him. Dan Quinn, please come back. Yeah,
for sure, man.
And then we got Donnie here. Thanks, man, for joining us. He's got Jalen Waddle and I believe Christian Watson, and I'm going to lean Christian Watson on this one.
Yeah, we kind of inadvertently discussed this one a little bit already, and I think Watson's the answer here.
That's where I would go as well. Yeah, I'm all right with that.
And then Gary's got a question here for QBs: Jane Daniels, Bo Nix, or Geno Smith?
We've talked about this 3 times this week, and I don't know what the right answer to tell him is. JJ, it's 6-point passing touchdown. You get a point for every 10 yards the quarterback throws here.
Point for every.
So yeah,
10 yards. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a boost to the passing pocket QBs.
Okay, so I'm trying.
We're talking here.
300 yards.
300 yards, 30 points.
30. Okay. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. And then rushing's just normal, I'm guessing.
Rushing's just normal. So it's between, I think, Bo and Geno. Bo's on a heater.
Really? Does it devalue the rushing that much? Because I was thinking.
I was actually gonna say Jaden. I was actually gonna say Jaden still here.
I don't think Jaden Daniels is healthy, and that's why I don't want to go with this.
I also think that Brian Robinson and Eckler are going to have heydays this week against the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. So I think
you saw Jaden Daniels throw the ball last week.
I think I'll go Geno here, but this is an interesting. I want to do a league next year where it's a 1 quarterback league, but it makes it so they matter. So this, I think maybe it's something like this plus points.
Oh yeah, we always me and Dylan and Ike have been advocating for this to everyone always asks, how do we even the rushing floor? I think this is how you do it.
It's a cheat. The Russian quarterbacks are a cheat code. Well,
not this one.
Change something.
Jalen Hurts in our league, I think, is with all the rushing touchdowns he's gotten, he's still only QB5, and he's not even because he's not passing the ball. I'm trying to pull it up here, but ESPN wants to be a SOB and not load.
Well, while you're looking at that, did you guys answer? Sorry, Jaden Bo. I'm gonna lean Jaden here slightly.
I still Jaden, but I don't know I've never played in that league for sure. So I could see Geno being the right call here too. If you're looking back at the stat sheets, I could see Geno just being 30 points every single week with this scoring. So I might lean back.
Yeah, his floor is so good where I think Bo Nix offers the better ceiling, but against the Raiders, man, they may not need Bo Nix to hit that ceiling. So yeah, I think I'd go Geno in this one because of the passing, floor. I think he's 300 yards against the Cardinals. Come on, that's an easy 30 points.
Pretty much a lock, right?
Yeah. But yeah, Jalen Hurts was QB5.
Downs or DJ?
Man.
Downs.
I go Downs.
Downs for sure. Yeah, man, that he's a stud. North Carolina, maybe. Go Tar Heels.
I think that's the right answer here as well.
Yeah, I'll go Downs. He showed he can do it with Anthony Richardson last week, so that's all we were waiting for.
Yeah, and I did like to see the usage from Moore last week. They were doing everything they could to get the ball in his hands and let him do some work, which is good because he's always been a great yak guy. But yeah, I think with this option, I agree, guys. I think you go Downs here. We got another one from Keith here. Bucky Irving or a questionable McConkey is his brother's team, and he's favored to win. I think the safe play is Irving. Probably the safe play. I think Ladd's going to play, Keith.
I say, yeah, he got limited practices in Thursday and Friday, I'm pretty sure.
It's a shoulder injury, and I've heard it's just
those are scary.
Tolerance
those are scary because one hit can knock them out, or one landing along on a diving catch. I can get it. I think I go Bucky here. I can understand going Ladd. I mean, he's freaking stud, but yeah, I think if you need the guaranteed points, I think Bucky is I mean, as close to a guaranteed double-digit points for running back as you can probably get at this point outside of your superstars.
I think he played safe here. Go Bucky as well, even though I love me some Lad, man. Even though it seems like he gets knocked out for a little bit every game. Like you get the underdog NFL update that says Lad McConkey heading over to the medical tent.
With him being favored to win too, I think I want to take the guaranteed points too. Assuming it's not like you're projected to win by 1 where it's just a toss-up. Then at that point, I think I may still go Lad just because I think he has a higher ceiling.
And hashtag Bucky Irving's good at football. So I'm definitely okay with playing with him, JJ. That was a good call by you.
Thank you.
This offseason was.
I would like to take a lot of credit, but I University of Oregon's like 30 minutes down the road from me. So like it was
right in your face.
That's
then we got another one from Gary here. DJ Moore, Tyrone Tracy. What do you guys think about Tyrone Tracy this week with the transition of Tommy DeVito, man?
Yeah. I buy into like the 1 week boost after firing a coach. So I think that this offense could be better than expected to give everybody hope before it crashes back down. So I'll go Tracy this week.
I'm actually okay with Tracy as well. I think he'll catch the passes out of the backfield. He's a good receiving back, and he's good between the tackles, obviously. That's crazy. He hasn't been playing the running back position for very long. I don't know if you guys heard that. He was changed to a running back his last year at Purdue. But he's a good player. I think Tracy will be fine here.
He's the only one out of this Giants offense that I really want to play the first week with DeVito starting here. He's just got the safest floor, most touches available, I think. I mean, Neighbors, you have to start, but I'm not excited about it. Like we had a question here earlier in the Discord, Malik Neighbors or Jacoby Myers? And it's like, man, I don't want to.
I know Jacoby against Surtain. Like if you can help it, Mike. I always know that's your go-to on everything on the Friday show and stuff. But if you could help it, not going against Surtain, that's I think you just go Neighbors.
And
here.
Jacoby's got such a safe floor too, so it's weird. But I'd go Tracy in this one.
DeVito's not the worst backup quarterback we've ever seen. He's not good by any means. This is the guy who we saw. We haven't seen that
much of him, though. That was the thing. Is like he's kind of an unknown still.
Remember last year when they ran a quarterback sneak on like 3rd and 15 from the 2-yard line in their own territory? You guys remember that last year?
No, but it sounds like something.
It's incredible, man. We're gonna punt here.
Brody. Gary, stop asking for your whole team. No, you can ask your whole team here, guys. That's what we're here for. You can literally ask your whole team. Brody, if you want to ask your whole team. Although I did take a look and you are dealing with some bye weeks and injuries, so you probably don't have a whole lot of questions.
Are we underselling the matchup here on DJ Moore a little bit, guys, by going Tyrone Tracy and by going Downs over him because the Vikings have been beat up by opposing wide receivers through the air this year? Like, is this the game that we get a ceiling game from DJ Moore? Quite possibly, or you guys just want to see it first?
Man, I mean, I'm starting DJ Moore in a few leagues, so it's not like I'm completely out on him or anything, but
they've had the same floor, 24 targets, 22 targets the past 2 weeks, 24 in favor of Downs. Go ahead, JJ.
No, just I'm not against starting him. Like I'm not anti-Moore this week. Like if you have a gut feeling over Downs or Tracy, even I don't think it's like egregious to go DJ Moore, but I like the upside with the other two better. But the consistency's been there more too.
Yeah,
no, that's totally fair.
See, I knew it. My only question I had was Tua or Love. It's bye week city for me.
See, in a way, sometimes those weeks are nice. There's not a lot of decisions to make. You're just like, well, this is literally my only option. Like, let's do it.
Malik Neighbors will play. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Groin injury. So that's good. That's good, Brody. You don't have to worry about him. All right. So you guys ask any questions you got here. I know I'm still kind of sharing things over here. Do you think that
there's any chance, like, sorry, just side note here, hijacking the show here. Do you think there's any chance that there's like a Deshaun Watson type effect where like anybody's better than Daniel Jones and this Giants offense like actually looks better with somebody else under center? Or do we think that it's just like a mess all around and it's unsalvageable?
I would have liked it a whole heck of a lot more if it was Drew Lock at quarterback, man.
I
really would have because he's a chucker.
Yeah.
And how about the awkward interview that he had at his locker this week? I don't know if you guys saw it. Someone asked him why it wasn't, since you were QB2 all season, why are you not the starter now? And he's like, I guess that's a question I got to ask myself too. And I'm like, I'll answer it for you. That's because you're trying to tank. they want to lose, man.
Yeah.
And Drew Lock and
they want
Tommy
they want to
gives
pair
them a better chance to lose than Drew.
they want to pair Travis Hunter with Malik Neighbors. That way the next year they can pair it with Arch Manny.
Travis Hunter needs to come to Dallas. Let's be honest. That's where he needs to go. Not the
with Dion or no?
I mean, he wouldn't be my first choice, but like, I mean, he's rebuilt that program in Colorado pretty quick. There's a good chance the top 2 picks in the draft are coming from Colorado. I mean, it's hard to argue too much with that.
I don't know. They just lost to Kansas and allowed a 200-yard rusher with 3 touchdowns and Devin Neal. So
Devin Neal's good.
Devin Neal's good though.
Yeah, he's good.
He was going to come out last year. Like I studied him in the rookies process because I thought he was coming out before he went back. So like, yeah, he's legit.
Mm-hmm. And then Brody's asking here, is Mike Evans in or out? Last night I saw Adam Schefter report that he is going to be in, and I haven't heard anything different, Brody.
Historically, does he normally play well when he's banged up, or is he like, do we know if he's one of those guys that like he's a decoy when he's banged up, or?
Historically, he gets 1,000 yards in a season, and he's running out of time, so that's what I'm kind of depending on here.
Okay, fair. That makes sense.
That's the history of what is it, 9 straight seasons of 1,000 yards. So and I know Baker's aware of that, and he wants to get his boy that, especially with Godwin out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, guys. You want me to? I'll hit us up with the questions, Mike. I got it pulled up if you want.
I was gonna say I got it pulled up on my phone here, but go ahead.
All right, I got one from Taylor here. I don't know if that's where you were at, Mike. Juwan Jennings with Purdy out or Ramondre Stevenson in the flex?
I'll go Ramondre there on that one.
Yeah, Ramondre for that one.
The offense could be a bit of a mess this week.
Yeah, I'm going to lean Ramondre in that one as well. And then one from Nathaniel. Do you want to go Josh Jacobs, Kyron Williams, or Tank Dell full point PPR?
I will. Who was the second one? Kyron? I'll go Josh Jacobs there. It's close with Kyron, though.
Yeah, I think mine might be more updated than yours, Dylan. I got one from 5 minutes ago.
I started at the bottom of the last one I didn't comment on.
Oh,
15 minutes ago.
I was going to go the newest. You tell me go newest, and then you go the opposite way. I see how
I tell you nothing.
Yeah, whatever. We got a live one. We got a live one here from Khalil. Thanks for joining us, man. Morning to you as well. He needs QB1. Bo Nix or Justin Herbert? Oof. Oofta.
Where I'm going, guys. It's just
Herbert in the Harbowl.
Herbert here.
Yeah, I think Herbert just offers you the safer floor. It is a good matchup. You can good QBs can throw against the Ravens. Russell Wilson and other bad QBs can't, but good QBs can.
Mm-hmm.
So give me Justin Herbert in this one.
And you can't run on Baltimore. Baltimore is just a pass funnel of an offense, so it's bad for running backs. Still debating myself if I'm going to go Tony Pollard or J.K. Dobbins this week in that league. I don't know which way to go there.
Either way, it's a tough matchup. I feel like who did the Titans have? I remember we were talking about it.
The
Texans. They got the Texans. Yeah, that's a tough matchup. They're the what is it?
No clue what I want to do. I have Dobbins locked in just because he doesn't play till Monday night, so I'm kicking the can down the road.
Just because Harbaugh is not going to abandon the run ever, basically. Like he's going to get.
And what's weird is he's the pass catching back in that offense, and I keep saying that he may if he catches 3 or 4 balls for 20 yards, that's a floor of 5 points.
You're not worried of Gus Edwards being in there because with Tony Pollard, you don't got to worry about Spears with him being ruled out.
Not in the passing game work here, man. That's what I mean. Tony Pollard's been really good with Tajay Spears. That's what makes it hard. But I could also see that offense just totally sucking today. So I don't. I don't know which way to go here.
I'll go from here. Elizabeth, Chuba Hubbard or Calvin Ridley.
That's Ridley.
Is it? Oh,
yeah. Hubbard's got the Chiefs. Best, toughest matchup for the running backs.
Jonathan Brooks coming back as well.
I got this stat, James Cook had the best RB finish last week against the Chiefs, and it's because he had 2 rushing touchdowns. He had 27 total yards against the Chiefs as a running back.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, let's go Ridley here.
It's rough when you're a running back facing the Chiefs.
That's fair.
And he's got to deal with Jonathan Brooks.
Keenan Allen officially active today.
All right. Ooh, Debo Samuel, Juwan Jennings, Jacoby Myers. Need 2 half-point PPR. I know. I think you go. Do you go Debo and Jennings? No,
I think you go
I can't.
Debo and Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, I think you go
Yes.
Jacoby. Yeah.
Is this a game? Is this a game we finally see with all the offense, with the quarterback change, the Debo where he gets 5 carries out of the backfield and they manufacture touches for him? Finally?
They should just make him the quarterback and run the Wildcat all game long.
I agree. Let's go.
Get exotic with it.
I'm so here for that, man.
It's in his contract to get more money. If I
It's
remember
a win-win for everybody.
All right, Cade Otton or Xavier Worthy for a flex.
I don't know.
Cade Otton, I feel like. Yeah.
Cade Otton too.
With Mike Evans back.
Yeah, I think Otton's role safe.
Who was the other guy you said? I already forgot.
Worthy. 11 targets. Yeah. I mean, Cade Otton definitely is getting more volume, but that was with Mike Evans out.
He's also still the number 2 pass catcher in the offense, unless you want to go with Rashad White over him. But I still lean on. I don't love it, man.
No, I guess I go Cade Otton, but that's ugly. If you need points, go Worthy. Cade Otton doesn't have the ceiling Worthy has.
Got a live one from Trey here. Crucial week for me this week. Who in half PPR format flex? Josh Downs, Bucky Irving.
That's a good one. I'll go Downs, but that's a good one. I don't feel like you have a wrong answer. I feel like both guys are going to have pretty good weeks this week.
I'm going to go Bucky Irving with it being half-point PPR. That's my tiebreaker here. Yeah, I'm gonna lean Bucky. Where are you going, Mike?
Man, that's tough. It's only because it's half-point PPR. I'll lean Bucky, but if it was full-point PPR, it's Josh Downs. So thanks for the input on that because that does matter, Trey.
DeAndre Swift, Sam Laporta, Jonathan Brooks, all active today. Inactives: Marshawn Lattimore, Tristan Wirfs, Josh Oliver.
That's not bad, actually. Not a bad list of outs there.
No, it's not. It could have been way more ugly with 6 teams on bye. And if the injury bug was worse, it could be real ugly out there. But good thing it's not.
Yeah. Trey said thanks. You're welcome, man. If you got any more questions, happily ask. We got another one here from Morgan. Jaden Reed or Marvin Harrison Jr. at the flex?
Oh, that's a good one. Reed here. I feel like Jaden Reed gets a touchdown against the Niners today.
Yeah, but he got a touchdown last week against the Niners, and he was wide receiver 30 something because he had 2 targets.
Fair. Yeah, I don't know. Jaden Reed. Let's go, Jaden Reed. He'll lock it in.
I'll go Marvin Harrison Jr. on this one. I'll go Marvin. Yeah, I know I'm biased on Marvin Harrison out of the 3 of us.
I like Marvin too. I don't think it's a bad call, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I leave with JJ here with Jaden Reed.
All right. Next one we got here. Fit 1. J.K. Dobbins, Tony Pollard, Josh Downs, James Conner. PPR. Dobbins, Pollard, Downs, Conner.
See, between Dobbins and Conner for me.
I think I would say Dobbins.
Yeah, I think so too.
I said Pollard because I think that's what I'm going to do.
You think that's what I'm going to do?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do in my own lineup, man. So that's why
at least you're honest. You're honest to the core. That's what I like. That's what I was laughing about. All right, Brett's got Cole Kmet or Isaiah Likely, half-point PPR. That one's rough. I got to look at the last 3 weeks for those 3 guys.
Yeah, I think Kmet, because I feel like Likely's been kind of what he's been all years, up and down. Yeah. And I feel like Kmet's been consistent. Like
Kmet's had less targets than
he was better last week with the offensive coordinator change.
Yeah.
So I think I go Kmet here as well. They gotta use him, man. They gotta use him.
I mean, yeah, but they don't have to. They haven't really.
Well, not.
It's so rough. I go. Give me. I'm not gonna help here, but give me Isaiah Likely. Just more targets last 3 games that each of them have played. So
he's also dealing with the emergence of Mark Andrews. Man, he's back.
The emergence of Mark Andrews was because Isaiah Likely was not there.
He was still fine last week, right? I don't know.
No, I mean, Mark Andrews. No, I could look it up here real quick. But answer this next question. I'll look up what Mark Andrews was. Andre's got C.J. Stroud or Matt Stafford this week.
CJ Stafford against the Eagles scares the absolute poop out of me.
Yeah, that like secondary's been so freaking good in Philly, man.
How about, JJ, how about the Eagles being able to fix that in just one offseason, drafting Quinyon Mitchell, who's a top, is he already a top 5-ish corner in the league?
Probably, yeah. My buddy's an Eagle fan, calls him the secondary.
I like it. So, that's a good one.
So what did he call him? Secondary?
Secondary.
That's funny. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Mark Andrews was tight end 27 last week.
I love it.
No, you don't.
Pretty good if you're in a 30-team league.
Hell yeah.
No, you don't. Jalen Coker is inactive and Adam Thielen is active. That sucks.
Shit, that's a bummer. I have a league that's like first and second year players only, so I actually got to go bench Coker real quick.
Dang.
Man. Getting benched for the vet.
Huh?
The wily old
this
vet.
week. Jalen Wright, baby, let's go.
Not this week. Andre's got another one here. He needs 3, and I'll read the names over again. You got Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, Juwan Jennings, Jacoby Myers, DK Metcalf. That again is Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, Juwan Jennings, Jacoby Myers, DK Metcalf.
And how many are we picking?
DK.
3.
DK for sure. The first one was who?
Ridley for sure. Tank Dell.
Yeah, those 3.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be Dell, Ridley, and DK for me. Sitting Jennings and Myers.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Andre needs to know in his flex. This is his last one I see here. David Montgomery or CeeDee Lamb? PPR.
Damn. I think I still go CeeDee here just because of the superstar top, 40-point game potential. But
I don't know. Are they playing at home, and is the sun going to be there?
No, they are in Washington this week, so they should be safe from the effects of the sun.
Oh, so they're outside, so they're not safe from the effects of the sun.
It's just there; it's everywhere. It's not like a sun that just comes out of nowhere. Did you guys see this week in the press conference they removed the barrier from Mike McCarthy? He had the sun on him this week. Remember, like last week afterwards, they had the on him. This week
they got a bunch of crap.
The sun right in his face in the middle of the interview. I'm like,
they're like, Mike, sorry, we're gonna have to take this down. We're getting too much crap for this. You're gonna have to take one for the team.
Jerry just can't admit he's wrong about anything. So now he's just like, no, you don't even get a shade for your press conference.
Man, CeeDee Lamb, 34 targets the last 3 weeks. David Montgomery is just so much safer. I think I lean David Montgomery.
I can't blame you. I think it's just I'm chasing the upside there, just hoping it doesn't.
Yeah, that one is definitely more upside.
It could just be Cowboys fan copium for me. I just can't quite admit it's over yet, but yeah.
Locking it here.
Yeah, I knew you would too because you're a big Monty guy. Rick needs to know Kyron versus Philly or Tyrone Tracy versus the Bucks.
I'll go Kyron there.
Yeah, I think that's still
just the touchdown potential there. That's gonna be tough.
You want to talk? You want to talk about touchdown potential? He's been going through a little bit of a touchdown drought here.
Yes.
Yeah.
That means
last 4 games without a touchdown after starting out the gates with the first 6 weeks or 6 games. So yeah, give me Kyron Williams in that one.
They need Kyron in this one, man. They do.
They do.
Need him. They need him to be good.
Oh,
big game. It's a big game for the Rams, man. It's a big game for every team in that NFC West division. Like that's the best divisional race coming down to the wire, right? Mm-hmm. With the Cardinals leading the division right now, nobody would have thought that heading into the season, that heading into week 12, that the Cardinals were leading that division, man. It's wild stuff.
No. Daniel's got a tough one here. CJ Stroud or Anthony Richardson?
I'll go. Ooh, man, A-Rich against the Lions is kind of scary. I'll go Stroud there against Tennessee.
Man, that's just tough. I think Stroud is just safer
with Richardson, I guess. Yeah, I suppose.
I think you're saying that because you've had Stroud on the team this year and you've been hurt by him.
I don't know why you could say Stroud is safer, man. He hasn't been safe
with Nico.
In 6 weeks.
With Nico, I think 100% healthy. That's what I think is.
I mean, that is true. If Nico's 72-yard whatever touchdown counts last week, like Stroud's line
helps. Mm-hmm.
So I think
their offensive line is so bad. Why is their offensive line just done a complete 180 after being one of the best in football last year to be in poo this year? I don't get it.
Yeah. And then he's got Juwan Jennings or DeAndre Swift in the flex.
Swift.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. There's a running. It's been a running back by committee for Swift.
I'd say Roshan Johnson is really getting more and more involved there too.
Yeah. Jamie's boy, Roshan Johnson. Although with the QB change, I'd still think Swift is a little bit safer than Juwan Jennings.
He's got the big play upside for sure.
Jordan's got a QB question here. He's got Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, or Justin Herbert.
Herbert.
Man, give me Kyler Murray in that one. I like Herbert's matchup, but Kyler Murray can give you the rushing floor plus the passing floor in this matchup.
Yep.
Steven's got Lad McConkey or Josh Downs. Downs. Dylan, I got your answer here. Do you remember what you answered?
Lad, I think, right?
You did answer Lad. Mm-hmm. You sticking with that?
I'll stick with it.
I'm gonna go with Downs.
We got one from Gary here. DJ Moore, Swift, Downs, pick 2.
I will
Downs and DJ for me.
Yeah, sit Swift.
Yeah, Downs and DJ. All right. Anthony Richardson or Geno Smith?
Give me Geno.
Yeah, I think I'll go Geno just against the Lions. That's a tough matchup for A-Rich. Yeah, Geno.
Geno just offers a safer floor. Not as safe of a floor as the rushing floor that Richardson can give you, but give me Geno just in case the floor falls out from Richardson.
Possible, man.
All right, Greg's got Jared Goff or Justin Herbert. How do you sit Jared Goff after the weeks he's had?
I don't think you do. I think you keep rolling Goff, honestly. Herbert's been better the last 3 or 4 weeks, but we've seen that he can have a stretch where like they can win and he doesn't have to do a ton. Where like pretty much every week Goff is just kind of like it seems like he's rolling right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna still lean Herbert here. The matchup's too good for me to pass up.
I lean Goff in this one. If it was a tougher matchup against a tougher defense, I'd be worried we can get another repeat of the 5 interceptions. But it's the Colts defense. Give me Goff. All right. Next one we got here. QB's like crazy. Jordan Love or Jane Daniels?
I will go Jaden Daniels there. That's close though. That's tough.
I'm so scared, man, that he's just too hurt to run, which limits his floor. We've seen him pass. He can't throw it more than 10 yards down the field, it looks like sometimes. Give me Jordan Love just because he's healthier.
Yeah, actually, I want to change my answer too. I want to go Jordan Love too. I changed my mind.
Come to the dark side, Dylan. Ace, I love that name. Jonnu Smith or Cade Otton?
I'll go Cade here still. Jonnu's been better than I thought he would be, though.
He has.
It's crazy how much he's gone from a team that never used a tight end to now they use it so much that Jalen Waddle is like unstartable.
I mean, he's basically Jonnu Smith the past 3 weeks is tight end 5 with 18 targets, but Cade Otton is tight end 1 though. Believe it or not, the last 3 games.
I believe it, man. I've been starting him in a lot of leagues. He's been good.
Yeah, I mean the floor is gonna go. Actually, the ceiling's probably gonna go down a little bit with Cade Otton because of the Mike Evans coming back, but he's still got a safer floor than Jonnu Smith. 29 targets the last 3 games. That's pretty much 10 a game, guys. I mean, maybe it goes down to what 7?
I say 7 instead. Yeah,
that's not even that. No, you love that for a tight end, and with how now it is. Another QB question here. Josh has Bo Nix or Jane Daniels.
I'll go Jaden here, and I won't change my answer.
Still going with Jaden.
Oh, man. I don't trust it. Give me Bo Nix because I know he's going to run more than Jane Daniels this week.
It's been a month, Mike. He's got to be damn healthy. It's been a month. He hasn't done anything.
He wasn't healthy last week, so how could you expect him to be healthy this week?
He wasn't healthy, or is Cliff just continuing to protect him and has the NFL caught up to Cliff once again? Is that
the Cliff of Cliff Kingsbury?
Yeah.
Man, I still got Bo Nix on that one. Daniels is hard for me. Tua or Anthony Richardson? I pretty much already answered this question. It's Anthony Richardson for me.
I think it's Tua with a good
Yeah.
matchup against the
That
Patriots.
one I will go Tua. Yeah.
All right. So I guess start 2 out of these 3. Debo Samuel, Romeo Dobbs, Dallas Goedert.
Debo and I'll go Goddard.
Goddard intrigues me here being with Devonta Smith out.
Yeah. It
He's
does
been
give
pretty good
him
last weeks too. He's been pretty solid.
Goddard.
Who was it, Mike? Who were the 3? It was Dobbs, Goddard, and who?
Debo. I think
Debo
Debo
and
is
Goddard. Yeah, I think Debo and Goddard's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll reluctantly agree with you guys.
Which one are you thinking over who?
Dobbs over Goddard.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just find it really hard to start a tight end over a wide receiver. Just like, in the flex position, I find it hard starting a wide receiver over a running back.
I just feel like Dobbs doesn't have a massive ceiling, which is the issue.
It's like inconsistent with him too. It seems like.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was between those 2. Sam's got Tua or Stroud. And that one's Stroud for me.
I'll go Tua still. I guess I'm a Tua guy this week.
I'm kind of a Tua guy this week. Man, I don't like that because I hopefully it's a Tua to Achane for a 70-yard touchdown for a screen.
That works for me.
I'd rather not have that happen.
I'd rather go to Waddle, but at this point, I think I have Waddle benched in every league I have him in. So
nobody wants that. Nobody wants Waddle to score points anymore.
I do. Give me all the Waddle, man. Give me all the Waddle.
Miguel,
they should even think about using him as running back, so they don't use Devon Achane as much. Mike,
keep him healthy, yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that
for the stretch run. Yeah,
that wouldn't be fun. Miguel says he started Quentin Johnson and Calvin Ridley over Hopkins and Swift. Is that the good move? Is that the right move? And I think that is.
Going QJ over Hopkins.
So it's start 2 out of Quentin Johnson, Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, and DeAndre Swift. So I think you got it right. Not over Ridley or Johnston.
I think
Johnston's the one that I'm considering. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Not over Quentin with the matchup and Ladd a little possibly banged up, and then you got Calvin Ridley as well, who's just getting massive volume.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Panthers are awful though.
Yeah. I think I lean Hopkins and
Quentin or Ridley?
Ridley.
Interesting. I'd go Quentin.
I'm all right going there, yeah.
It is touchdown dependency that I'm going on. Quentin Johnson is tied for 3rd in the league for wide receivers and touchdowns with 6. So, no, I'm hoping for that touchdown here. Oh, man, this one's a tough one. Fuck me. Sorry, excuse my language.
Whoa! It's Sunday morning, man.
Hey, that's what we're saying when we're looking at these lineup decisions. I mean, in a bye week.
This week it was like that.
In a bye-apocalypse, we get this type of question. Start 2, Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp, Nico Collins, and Tyreek Hill. This is why I said what I said. Yeah.
8-man league.
Sorry, say that again.
Start 2, Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp.
He's out. With those options, Evans is out. Let's see it for a week.
Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp, Nico Collins, and Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill's the other sit, I think.
Tyreek, yeah. I'll start the middle 2.
So it'd start Cooper Kupp and Nico Collins?
Yep.
I think I lean the other way, and I would still go Mike Evans. The matchup for Cooper Kupp is enough to get me off of it for Mike Evans.
Phrasing.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp took advantage of the Patriots. Woohoo! Yeah, it's not the Eagles, so I
takes advantage of everybody, man. Take it easy.
So I think I go Mike Evans and Nico Collins in that one, and that is risky because you're taking the guys coming off the injuries. Jared Goff or Baker Mayfield here from Garrett.
Jared Goof.
Baker, who do they have? They got the Giants.
Yeah, Giants. So
gut call. I think I kind of like Baker here.
Giants do stink.
They are not good.
Giants do stink.
But I
as we say
think
on
that
the
I think they're gonna do enough with like the new coach boost that like Tampa Bay is gonna have to actually move the ball. So I don't think they're gonna be able to just get up by like 20 and like chalk it out with Bucky. I think there's I'll go Baker here. This one may look stupid, but it's pure gut call.
I mean, Baker has more points on the year, but since the injury to Mike Evans, he's taken a step back.
For
and
sure.
Jared Goff has been a little bit better. But thing is
Baker
Baker
that 5 interception week. Like Goff's been pretty damn flawless.
Yeah, Baker's just throwing it more. Like the last 3 weeks, Baker has 110 passing attempts. Jared Goff's 81. So I think Goff probably offers you the higher floor like we've seen the past 2 weeks, but Baker's safer, and I'll go with Baker in that one.
Yeah.
That one is a good one, though. We got another one.
I won't look dumb alone. There we go, Mike.
What'd you say?
I said, at least if I look dumb on that one, I won't look dumb alone. We'll both go down on that one.
True. And it'll just be Dylan. PPR, David Montgomery or Josh Jacobs?
It's David Montgomery, man.
Yeah. No.
If it were up to me, David Montgomery would be my RB3. If I was a ranker, I think he's guaranteed a touchdown every week, man.
That way, yeah.
That's what I'm just gonna lean. I lean him.
No, Josh Jacobs, man. He's been getting more and more usage as the season's gone on too. I'll go Jacobs here.
I'm curious to see what Joe's rankings are on this one, Dylan, if you want to pull that up real quick, just because I'm curious what he thinks, because I think I lean Jacobs as well, just because I know Monty's guaranteed the touchdown, but Jacobs just getting more and more volume as the year goes on.
Yeah, as it goes on, he's becoming a bigger and bigger focal point for sure.
So, I'm very curious to see what Joe thinks about that one. It is PPR, just so you know when you're looking that up. But I think I lean Jacobs as well, and that one's a tough one. Well,
got a live one from Brandon, Mike. While I'm pulling that up, pull Brandon's question up.
Me and JJ will answer first. Thanks, Brandon, for joining us. Appreciate you checking in. He's got Trey Benson or Amir Abdullah. Leading Benson due to Abdullah against Denver, but he needs some opinions. I think Abdullah is with the injury because is Zamir White out? That is correct.
I believe Abdullah is going to be the guy this week.
They haven't announced it yet. I think it's the late game. Yeah, it's Abdullah on lobby, so I think I actually lead Abdullah, even though it's not going to be pretty.
I go Abdullah for the sheer fact that I'm having to start him in a few weeks this week, so I'm trying to spit out all the good karma and positive energy for him. So let's make Abdullah a thing this week.
It's tough.
Joe has Josh Jacobs as RB9. David Montgomery is RB12.
That's what I kind of thought.
Oh, sorry, that's half. Why did it do that?
You suck.
PPR? What's going on here?
It always goes.
It's even worse for Monty. I got a bone to pick with him. Joe has him as RB17. Josh Jacobs as RB7, so it's not even close for Joe. So
hey, just for the sake of Brandon here, hit Control left and search up Trey Benson and Amir Abdullah. Just for the sake of Brandon, I'm curious. He wants all the opinions he can get.
34 for Abdullah. Who did you say?
Benson.
And Benson. 36. Sorry. I was looking at consensus. He's got Trey Benson as RB38, Amir Abdullah as RB34.
So closer.
So I think it is closer. I think, and that the reason I wanted to ask that, I want you to do that is because I know Joe is high on Trey Benson. He took a lot of crap on Reddit talking about Trey Benson and hyping up Trey Benson. So I was curious to see his opinion on that. So if a man as high on Trey Benson as he is, I'm with him. I guess I do lean Abdullah because he is leaning the safe route where he's just going to get more touches.
Nope, I lied again. Yeah. Don't ask me about these rankings, man. I can't read this. Amir Abdullah 45, Trey Benson 38. So he does
my God, Benson. Okay, all right. Well,
all that analysis.
I still go Abdullah, but yeah. All right. So he goes the other way on us.
All right. So I'm just gonna save you the embarrassment. I'm gonna pull up his rankings so I can read them from now on.
You just got demoted.
Kid can't even read.
And Brandon,
right,
see, that's why I wanted to pull up Joe. I don't want to be a follower here, but I am a Benson believer, just like Joe. So man, that one's tough. Would you? I'll stick with it just because I'm a believer in safety, and the only thing that can kind of stop Abdullah is Dylan Lauby. So it's a rookie, and you got James Conner stopping Trey Benson. So I think I still do lean Abdullah there.
Yeah,
that sucked. All right, so you can read this one, Dylan.
From Taylor, what's going on, man? Goff or Daniels for safer floor? Would you consider benching Neighbors for Flowers or Rashad White in full PPR? Ooh.
I would go Goff for the safer floor if that's what you're after. And I would probably...
So it's between Goff and who?
Daniels. But if he's asking for the safer floor, not necessarily higher upside.
Yeah, Daniels doesn't have a safer floor right now because he hasn't ran.
Yeah, so I think the safer floor probably Goff. I think you're guaranteed, 15 touchdowns. Yeah, like for Goff.
Man, Joe is a Commanders fan. He's got Jane Daniels as QB3 this week. Oof.
I think the upside's there for sure.
Projections love Daniels too.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, everywhere. I'll still lean Goff though. I'm sticking to my guns here with Jane Daniels being hurt. It just hurts his ceiling and his floor because his floor is his rushing value, and if he's hurt, he's not going to run. That
being said, I agree with you. I would start Daniels, but if you're just going for safety and you just need guaranteed points, I think I'd go Goff. So
yeah. And then Malik Neighbors over Flowers or Rashad White in full point PPR.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know where to go here.
I think I go Rashad White on this one. Just with it being full PPR, I feel like he's more. If Neighbors is healthy 100%, then I think he's the answer here pretty easily. But it's tough. How healthy is he? What's it going to look like with DeVito under center? I think.
Yeah.
I think I go Rashad White here. Reluctantly on this one.
Man, this one's interesting because Joe I know is a guy that believes in volume and RBs, just having a natural higher floor, but he does have Malik Neighbors ranked much, much higher than Rashad White. Neighbors is his 19th.
If he's 100%, like Neighbors is the clear answer. There's enough uncertainty there. I'm not sure what it's going to look like this first week back.
And I don't think I'm going to help here, guys, because I'm actually going to lean Zay Flowers over Malik Neighbors because I'm sticking to my guns. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in that game, and I could see Zay being a big part of that. So that's where I actually lean over Neighbors if you want to go that route, if you want to bench Neighbors because of the groin injury.
Don't take this the wrong way, but don't listen to JJ on this one. Don't start Rashad White.
I don't feel great about it. So,
Sorry.
I can't be too upset about that, yeah.
All right, we got 2 more minutes here, guys. If you want to get some more questions in, although if the DFS guys aren't here, we're going to be running over into their time, and we'll just answer more of your guys' questions. All right. Oh no, I lost it. All right, good thing we got another. We got another one here.
What up?
What's up, Mike? Changed out his flex spot multiple times. He's tinkering. We got a Rux in here.
Yeah, we did. Love it.
Yeah.
Jalen Waddle, Xavier Worthy, Tyler Lockett, or Mark Andrews. I mean, I don't blame you for tinkering on that one.
Yeah, it's like a tough one because like every guy has like enough upside you can kind of sell yourself on it, but like the downside's pretty clear with all these guys here too.
Waddle, baby, waddle, baby, waddle, baby, waddle.
Yeah,
yeah, I suppose.
I think I go. Man, this is a tough one. I think I go
Waddle or Worthy for me, which I lean Waddle slightly.
Yeah, I kind of lean. Is Mark Andrews crazy here? I feel like is he like the safest option of this group? Is that crazy?
No, he was just tight end 27 last week. No.
What was he the week before?
I'm talking to my friend JJ like that, Mike. All right, I'm tired of it. I'm not gonna allow this to happen any longer.
I mean, I was being honest, man. He was tight end 27. He was the week before tight end 2 against Cincinnati in a good matchup. That's a good matchup. I wouldn't say the Chargers is a good matchup for him.
It's not, but there's going to be points scored. I promise.
I'm going to go Andrews here. I'm intrigued to look back on this one in a day or two, but I'm going to go Andrews here.
With likely involved, I'm out on Andrews because that week he scored tight end 2 points. He didn't have likely in the lineup. So I'm out on Andrews, and it's between Waddle and Worthy because Waddle has seen 11 targets, so is Worthy. Just Worthy, get your damn feet in bounds.
Yeah, I'm sure this
All
isn't
the
helpful.
voices in my head. I love that.
Very true. Very true. I would go Worthy in this one because I think this is a good week.
We didn't help him, man. We didn't help him.
Andrews is my answer officially on that one.
And then we got one more from Tyler here before we get the DFS guys in here. Jared Goff, Kyler Murray. I'm going to go Goff.
Oh, really? I'm going to go Kyler here.
I'm going to go Kyler.
I've lost all trust in Kyler Murray. I don't know what it is. Someone can talk me out of it at a different time, but I've just lost trust in him after a couple clunkers this year when he was in great matchups. So I'm good. Big Goff is super duper safe. So
this can't be true. It's just Joe Bob posted. Adam Schefter from LA, Lindsay Theory reported that
I saw this. I was what?
Puka Nacua only recently learned that the Rams played in the NFC West.
I hope that's true. That's
what is that? Like, I guess I could see him being like, "Oh, I guess I didn't realize that's what the division was called. I just knew we played these guys." I mean, I guess.
What do the players care about that for? What do they need to care about?
Yeah, they need to win the division to get in the playoffs. That's why.
Yeah, they just need to win the division. They don't care what it's called. They just got to win it.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get out of here, just wants to complain here, and then you're complaining for all of us here. All the buys: Pacheco out, Jamar Chase out, Joe Burrow, Brees Hall, Dalton Kincaid, Tanks Bigsby. NFL, take it as a lesson here. Spread out your bye weeks. Why do we need 6 teams on bye week in week 12 and week 14? Let's get something done here to fix this. It's not fun.
I agree. We don't often agree, but we agree with that. Mike.
It's been a pleasure, guys, doing this with you as always. Before we head out, Dylan, let everybody know where they can find you and what you're doing.
Yeah, you can just find me on the Twitter machine at the Clemons 2222, the YouTube channel here on the Friday show, the Sunday show, and catch me in the NBA DFS Discord where I'm always in there chopping it up. So find me there.
How about you, JJ? What you got going on?
Man, right now, the last few weeks I've been a bit of a bum. Like, this is basically my only thing that I am doing right now. So you are getting my maximum effort every single week. But yeah, so just follow the YouTube channel here. Follow me on Twitter. Anything I do will be tweeted out on those 2 channels right there. So yeah, hit me up there.
Appreciate you, Brandon.
Yep, appreciate you, man. All right, guys.
See you guys.
Appreciate you guys hanging around. Good luck in your matchups. Except you, Dylan.
Discord league real quick before we head out too.
Dylan, bye. JJ, bye. Adios. All right, guys. Now, you guys got to stick around. This is where you're going to make some money listening to Chris Robbin and Keith Flemming. I mean, I make money when I listen to them, so I'm just going to get them right on in here. What's up, guys? Beautiful Sunday besides the buys. How you guys doing?
What's going on, man?
I'm fantastic. And who said, being bye is a bad thing, or having a lot of bye weeks is also a bad thing? Anyway,
at least in the NFL.
Yeah, at least in the NFL. And I have nothing going on. Normally I pop on, or you bring us in, and hi Keith, how you doing? You pop us in, and there's some sort of smart, witty segue. And I was just sitting here looking at the my notes and my chapstick and everything, and I'm like, I don't have much to say, like in terms of anything fun and witty as a segue. So I used that bye joke, which wasn't really that funny, but it was okay.
That's all right. When your team's dominating like you, it's just like, all right, I'm here. I'm going through the motions, man, just like them.
Which is nuts, and that opens up something I have to say here when Keith and I have the reins here. So, Mike, thanks for bringing us in, and we're getting it going. Keith,
good luck, fellas.
How are you? Everything's on the up and up health wise. A little cough.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're getting ready to. Yeah, sorry, I was kind of feeling I don't even want to say under the weather. It was just basically went to Vegas, had too much fun, got back super late Saturday night, and it just missed out last week. But I'm back and better than ever. So how you doing, buddy?
I'm fantastic. Have at it. And again, I don't know if it's a skill set or just I enjoy it, but when you look across the board, at people that broadcast, especially on Twitter, talking fantasy football, it's rarely just one guy or one girl. It's always a team or it's a group. I'd like to think I really enjoy just one-on-one, me, a microphone, and a camera, and we go from there. It cut it down. It was like 45 minutes. There's a lot of fluff words and stuff, but we had a fantastic week. Before I ask ask you the inevitable question. What's your 10,000 foot view? Two things I want to mention that Mike didn't even really say anything to prompt this, but maybe I need my own broadcast, my own podcast, just to talk for like 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, because every week to week, it's a different fan base trying to, put the Detroit Lions down. It was always the Packers, then it was Chicago, then it was Minnesota, it was the Rams for a bit. Now it's Philadelphia Eagles fans chirping and talking shit and putting together lists of which, when you look at the positional groups, the Eagles have the better quarterback, running back, wide receiver, offense. I mean, I know what it's going to take. It's going to take the Lions the Lions have to win a Super Bowl, or this is all for naught, because every week there's a different fan base, kind of reaching or trying to knock you off your hill. And second, that dummy on what is it, Fox Sports, Nick something with the long hair.
Oh, right. The Kansas City stand. Yeah.
Everything that guy says is wrong. I don't understand it. And that's how social media is too. Can you imagine, you or I, we're wrong all the time, right? Because we're talking, highly volatile stuff, right? Sports betting and DFS stuff. But when you have such strong stances on takes, right? Chicago's going to win every game. They're going to go 12-5 and go to the Super Bowl. Like, you make gigantically bad mistakes with your opinions, and then you're still it's like they say this stuff on purpose. Jared Goff's a civilian, quarterback. He's no good. And then his dummy cohort says, I just can't take the Lions offense serious. It's not as good as people think. You have to be, you have to say that stuff. Grown men is what I was going to get at, pandering for likes and views. And you'll get those folks on social media all the time that are constantly wrong on purpose. And then when they start to get too much heat or hate, they go, oh, it was rage bait. I did it on purpose because I'm getting the analytics. I'm getting a ton of, responses and views and all this stuff. It's like, but when did this society turn to being an asshole on purpose and pandering for such accolades as high volume of ownership, not ownership, but viewership and stuff? It's driving me crazy. And in all my years on this earth, I never really cared, but for some odd reason, it's really, got me good the last week or 10 days, Keith. So I don't know.
It's the internet, Chris.
Yeah.
Once the internet came around and people realized, wait a minute, I can talk trash and not have to do it to people's face. Where I might get my ass beat. Like, it makes it a lot easier to say insane, disrespectful, etc. things. And then B, like, people just hope that in today's world you will forget about their wild take from yesterday a week later, which is what I love, like, what is it? Freezing takes, old takes exposed, like places like that are doing the Lord's work, where it's like, no, you said this insane thing. I want it on the record 6 months later now that, we all know you're an idiot.
I've said that a million times, when we have I just told Joe in the chat not too long ago. I mean, maybe it was Tuesday, Wednesday, he sent me a DM that said, not me per. He's like, we keep trying to make Craig Reynolds a thing, the third string RB for the Lions, because he was in bottom of the barrel. Keep trying to make Craig Reynolds a thing. I don't think it's anything of importance anymore. And I told him, I've said this a million times, if that idea were to hit, I'd be a genius, or you'd be a genius. If it doesn't, everybody forgets and we just float away. So, Keith, happy Sunday afternoon. It's about 9-10 minutes after noon here. Week 12 is not in full swing yet. We had one game already play, which was a snow game. It was a fantastic Thursday night football game. What is your first take when it comes to week 12?
This is a really difficult slate, not from a standpoint of there's a ton of good plays. Actually, I think at running back, wide receiver, quarterback, etc., even tight end in the lower mid-tier range. It's figuring out who are you going to spend the money on. Like that was the difficult decision for me this week, is what are the guys that I'm going to play that are 7,000 or more? Do I take somebody like Luke Schoonmaker, who has a wonderful matchup at 2,500, everything you want from a tight end volume wise, he's the lowest price possible. Do you play him? And then if so, what does it do to the rest of your lineup, et cetera? It's the puzzle part of putting together DFS lineups to me this week has been extremely difficult.
Yes, I agree. And obviously, bottom of the barrel notes. I got to do a better job sharing them. Everybody knows of them, I guess, to a certain extent. But rarely do I write in pencil, but when I write anything in pencil of an already, noted page, however you want to put it, that means I was in a panic or I was in like a fever pitch because I didn't have anything to write with. And I had thoughts and ideas and players that I wanted to jot down. And I wrote Justin Herbert, Wan'Dale Robinson, Trey Benson, Jalen Waddle, Devin Singletary, Downs is on that list, Tommy DeVito, Xavier Legette. These were all guys after the fact, meaning after Bottom of the Barrel was published, after the Thursday Night Football video was done, that I just had to get down in any form or fashion. Worst case, I would have had to, cut my finger and write them in blood. I mean, I wouldn't put it past me to do that. But Keith, as we look at this slate, we'll keep it in the favor of, what's the first game you're most excited about from a betting and DFS perspective? And it's a wonderful idea you brought to the table a few weeks back.
I mean, for me, it's actually the Dolphins-Pats game is very intriguing to me because you could talk about playing either quarterback. This week, I have made the decision in all my cash lineups for the most part to play quarterbacks that are below 6,000 because there's Tua, there's May, there's Richardson. I think all three are a great option. A-Chain became one of the three expensive guys that's in a majority of my lineups. He's just an absolute cheat code when it comes to games with Tua. I mean, we're now at this huge sample size of 11 games where he's played at least 50% of the snaps that Tua started. He's averaging almost 24 points per game. I mean, what's wrong with that? He's got 39 receptions this season in the 6 games Tua started. He has 9 in the 4 that he hasn't. So I like playing him. The big elephant or the thing I've had a hard time wondering is, do you just slam Tyreek Hill in as well? Like if you're going to play Tua and A-Chain, you throw Tyreek in as well. New England plays man at one of the highest rates in the league. We know that is what Tyreek can absolutely feast against. And then on the other side, there's some real values, like with Hunter Henry, who is just basically a number one wide receiver that you're paying $4,000 at tight end, which is a great option. The Dolphins have had issues with running backs, so there's Stevenson. Any of the Pats receivers, this obviously for like bottom of the barrel are good options. I just think there's a lot of options from that game, and it's going to be higher scoring than people expect because a few weeks ago we saw this game with, what was it, like Tim Boyle versus Jacoby Brissett? Not so fun. Drake May versus Tua, totally different.
Yeah, and it's a great decision. As it stands now, this one kicks off at 1 p.m., so you're looking at 47 minutes from now. New England's in Miami, over-unders at 46. It's a close game within 3 points. New England to win 23-20. It could be 24-21, which would then make it around 7 total touchdowns, and you can just give them out as you see fit. In that game, to say the least, a lot of folks have jumped on the Hunter Henry train, myself included, in terms of all the targets he's received and all the work he's received. But I'm in on Jonnu Smith as well. When you look at what he's done the last few weeks, just getting an unbelievable amount of targets. If I'm not mistaken, I know for a fact he scored a touchdown last week, and the yardage, what was it, 46? One of them was really long, and
it was like that was late. Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns, I think like 100 yards by the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, and he looked fantastic. So to me, both tight ends are in play. And in the chat here, Michael Proctor says Drake May. I cannot get off this kid given the fact of, the New England Patriots what do they have to lose, right? And so they're getting 7.5 points. I have them to win outright. So give me the Patriots plus 7.5 and Drake May as well. I don't think folks need to be fooled or scared by the DVP here. Miami's 3rd overall against opposing quarterbacks here, but May has started to tap into something. We haven't seen his full potential yet, but to me, I like Drake May. 22 to 23 completions, 220 yards, a pair of touchdown passes, and around 30 yards on the ground on 3 to 4 carries around that area. When I look at the slate, my first game that was like standing out to me, no, it's not the Lions, right? Lions are playing Indianapolis, over-unders 50. Will the Lions score 35 points? Probably 40. I mean, just betting on how many points they'll win by. at this point. Minnesota's in play, Houston's in play, but I want to stop at Washington or on Washington briefly because the Dallas Cowboys come to town. And if the Dallas Cowboys are anything like we've seen the last handful of weeks, Washington and Jaden Daniels should absolutely destroy them. And you're looking at it now. I have Washington to score around 31 points, and Dallas they stink. And I have nothing against the Cowboys, Jerry Jones or any of those guys, but if you see something, you have to take advantage. We're like if we were walking around on the streets, Keith, we'd be like criminals and purse snatchers because we're so opportunistic against the opposing team when we're stacking offenses. I think Washington absolutely hammers Dallas. They're going to take their purse, however you want to put it. And the one thing that I would love more than anything in this lineup is to just use Jaden Daniels in 100% of my lineups. His price tag is not very bottom of the barrel-y, right? He's $9,000 on
it's
FanDuel.
Cheapest we've seen since week 4, though, in your defense. This is it's the lowest you're going to get Jaden Daniels the rest of the season for sure.
Absolutely. So what have I done? I love the idea of both Washington running backs, Brian Robinson Jr., Austin Eckler. Obviously that both of them did not make the cut for bottom of the barrel given their price tags. But when you look at Austin Eckler, he's catching the football, and I'm going to pop up got this weird little projections table that I do.
Ooh.
When you look at Austin Eckler, he's not going to get a ton of carries. That's B-Rob's. He'll see 5 to 6 carries, 25 to 30 yards. But Eckler, looking at 3 to 4, I think 3 to 4 receptions is on the low side. Austin Eckler should see probably 5 to 6 targets. And what are the chances he catches all of those? And we're looking at 35 to 40 yards and a touchdown in the air, on the ground, whatever way you want to slice it. When you look at this one, Dallas has allowed the second most rushing yards per game this season, and they're tied for the third most rushing touchdowns surrendered by any team this year. So that is why I love B-Rob and Austin Eckler. It's that 1-2 punch, right? You're going to get, you don't have to worry about goal line work if you got stacking both of them up. So to me, Washington hangs at least 31 points. Each one of the Commanders running backs score a touchdown, and you're just going to accumulate all the total yardage. So when you talk about one guy who's going to have, let's say, 85 total yards. In this case, you can add up both options, both running backs, and whatever they get, it's in your lineup. Any interest in this game, Keith?
Yeah, I love, again, right on the money with the Washington running backs. I think Robinson on DraftKings for cash particularly is an immense value. You just look what this Dallas run defense has been lately, which is just atrocious. He's getting most of the red zone touches. Robinson, to me, is a very safe play and is one of those many running backs that is just great. They allowed Dallas second most rushing yards in NFL, 8 rushing touchdowns their last 4 games. He scored double digits in 7 of 8. And then again, it's just the multiple red zone carries in every game he's played this season. He's going to get opportunities. We both think they're going to get in there. Again, Luke Schoonmaker, I just have to keep mentioning him because for 2,500, the guy saw 10 targets last week in a game that Jake Ferguson played in. Ferguson is obviously out this week. I think that, Cooper Rush is limited in what he can do. And let's be honest, outside of CeeDee Lamb, what's the next option? It's probably going to be Schoonmaker. If he gets you 10 points in cash at $2,500, that is a win, and you just can spend up at other positions. So I'm completely with you. Daniels, I didn't get to in cash, but I definitely have him in MME or, multi-entry events. Because again, $7K on DK. He hasn't been this price since week 4. I think Washington, Houston, there's a few of these teams that have very good matchups, and they need to get their offense back on track. So I don't think they're going to take their foot off the gas if they get up early, because they want to get these young QBs feeling good about themselves. The passing, all that, I think they're going to kind of keep the pedal to the metal.
Routine.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Absolutely. And really quick, what's his name? Luke is in bottom of the barrel. I have him personally 6 to 7 more targets, 4 to 5 receptions. I think 40 yards could be actually his floor this week. But we could get it's an infinite amount of yards, right? That would be ridiculous, but you get what I'm saying. The upside, I should have phrased it better. The upside is without bounds this week, averaging around 8 yards a carry. But just in passing, the Commanders, They're only giving up around 84.4 passing yards a game, which is 5th in the NFL. But I said that to say this: if the volume is going to be there and the pace of play is going to be there, I don't give a crap about what the opposing defense has done or has not done in terms of yardage allowed. Where are we headed after this one? We New England, Miami.
There's two games
Dallas,
for me.
Washington.
Let's talk about your guys, because that game to me very intriguing. Like I think there's very obviously little chance that Detroit loses this game. As much as I like Indy, I like what Richardson did last week. I just think Detroit is the best team in the NFL right now. However, because you're down 2 corners, I do think that this is a wonderful situation for Indy to score points. And so now you're getting both sides of it. And what I want more than anything is Indy to score points, because Amon-Ra St. Brown that way becomes to me just a must play. Like if Indy can stay in this game where Detroit's throwing a majority of it, I mean, let's be honest, Indy runs cover 3 at the highest rate in the NFL. It's like almost like 60-70%. Amon-Ra St. Brown just destroys zones. Like Jameson Williams is the man, guy. St. Brown, I mean, I'm not trying to put St. Brown in a corner. He's great against everything, but I mean, versus zone, he's uncoverable. Like if you just look at his numbers, his splits, everything, and you got a defense that they just don't want to give away the big plays. That sounds like to me one of those St. Brown games where he has 11, 12 catches, both backs for Detroit. Very good options, obviously. But then on the Indy side, I think that there's a ton of value as well. Like Anthony Richardson at 5,600 to me is somebody you should really consider starting. I have him a lot of cash lineups, including my most expensive cash lineup this week. And it's because he came back last week, scored 29 points, had 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Lions run man defense at one of the highest rates in the NFL. What happens when you run man defense? A lot of defenders, right? They turn their heads around to the quarterback because they're worried about the receiver that they're facing. And if you look at some of the running backs that have had big running games, and I say, running quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield, 34 yards a touchdown. Sam Darnold had 39 yards rushing versus team. Mason Rudolph, 29 rushing yards and a touchdown. Kyler and Geno combined for 83 yards. And then you have a guy, Richardson, who in just like 7 games has 274 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. That raises his floor so much. And he's already cheap at 5,600 that yes, I want a lot of that. And then Josh Downs is the other guy that is in a ton of my cash lineups. Your guys have always struggled with slot wide receivers. That is where you can most do damage. Downs is arguably the best slot receiver in football right now. There's this narrative that he's, just great with Flacco and bad with Richardson. Look at last week. That's not true. Like he actually has scored over 18 points in both of the last 2 games.
That was nice to see that narrative put to bed.
Exactly. And then for I'm sure you're aware, this is the, MME guy or, GPP that all those other Colts receivers, again, because of the corners out, are interesting plays to me. Like the Alec Pierce, the A.D. Mitchells, they can make a big play or, 2 big plays and keep it in. But I do expect a lot of points in this game. What's sad is Jonathan Taylor's the one guy that I don't really want him. Obviously, you can't sit him in your fantasy leagues, but for DFS, I think that the Colts are going to move it. It's going to be a lot of Richardson, a lot of passing. And I don't think the Colts are going to be able to do anything to stop the Lions' offense. I think there's going to be a lot of points and a lot of opportunities this week for those guys.
Yeah, as it stands now, the over-under is around 50 points. It looks to be the second highest over-under. First would be Baltimore at the Chargers, which is tomorrow night for football. When I go back over Amon-Ra St. Brown, 9-10 targets, 7 to 8 receptions, 100 yards, a touchdown. I mean, he's just steady Eddie, and it's fantastic. One thing I do want to mention, right, because I do have Josh Downs is in bottom of the barrel. Not Josh Downs. Alec Pierce is in bottom of the barrel, and if Josh Downs was the right price tag, he would be in there too. One thing I'm not trying to clear anything up. I maybe clarify something. If you look at the last 5 or 6 games, right? If you're good, really good, the best, however you want to put it, people want to pick you apart, just like some of the dummy national media. Everybody keeps leaning on the fact that Detroit Lions secondary stinks and they're not good because they give up so much yardage, to wide receivers. They're right now 26th overall. I think it's more of a who cares, but don't bend, don't break. Yeah, maybe it is who cares, because there comes a point when you're up double-digit points, 15 plus 20 points, teams, that's all they can do. That's all they have to do is pass the ball. And that's where all this yardage stuff is coming from. In a close game, I would imagine it'd be a little bit different. But as it stands now, we have to use and play what's in front of us. I have 55 to 60 total points in this one, taking the over. I think the Lions win 35-20. That's my final score there. And everything you said is absolutely valid. One point I want to touch on is Sam Laporta. When you look at Laporta, I caught the beginning of the last segment, the dudes that were broadcasting before, and they're saying, Mike said, Sam Laporta is having a down season, the sophomore slump, however you want to put it. And I guess in an odd way, that's not a bad thing for real life success, because that would make him just a luxury option for a team in real life, right? And he maybe, if it was a game of any importance last week, I'm sure Sam would have played. But they're, Dan's looking at the schedule, he's looking at the long run, and why not, rest Sam? You could have done it again today if they wanted to, but I believe that it's going to be a big Sam Laporta game. How many times have I said it? It's like playing roulette. If red comes up 1,000 times, I'm putting my cash on black. Gibbs and Demont, they're going to score. Amon-Ra with all his targets and touches. J-Mo. This could be a good guess. What do we think? Anybody in the chat? I'll have a prize to give away. Maybe I'll treat it. Over or under a 50-yard touchdown, which, if you had to guess, what would you do? 50 or
on
more
either
yards?
side? Both. I think it's very, very likely that it happens, don't you?
J-Mo, yeah, 50 or more. So
against zone, I'm a little less, likely to happen, but it's Jamison Williams. Even a team that runs zone 7% of the time is still running man 30%. And J-Mo can, anytime he gets one-on-one, we know what can happen.
Yeah, I appreciate your statistics and the way you think of it. I wasn't even thinking of it that way. Just whatever. Just get all it takes is just one ball to get loose. And then one more comment I could say. Maybe this is better left for like a sports talk show. But what do we think happens to Anthony Richardson if the Lions go up 21-0, 28-0? Where's his mind going to be at on the field? Given when Coach, I'm tired. I just got to go to the sideline and be in peace. If the Lions really hammer them, what will AR5, I should say, what the heck is his mindset going to be like? So when I'm moving on here, and it's 12:27, time's flying by, just like 10 minutes ago, it was week 1 and we're all excited. And now it's week 12 and here we are. We touched on New England at Miami. I had New England to win 23-20. Dallas, Washington to hang 31 points. You mentioned Detroit and Indianapolis. Another game I love bits and pieces of Tampa Bay at Washington. There's a lot of secondary.
Oh, you mean New York, right?
New York, yeah, excuse me, the Giants. But one game I keep coming back to is the Arizona Cardinals are playing in Seattle, right? In Seattle, have they lost their home field advantage, the 12th man? Who knows? I keep bringing up a lot of comments and questions that are better left for talk shows, right? For podcasts and talk shows. But Arizona at Seattle, over under around 47.5 points. I think every bit of that hits. But where are we going when we look at the overall game? A lot of questions about Kyler Murray, this or that. What are we going to do? My best, most favoritist, however a little kid would put it, is the rookie Trey Benson. Only 5-2 on FanDuel, going against Seattle, around 22nd overall against opposing running backs. James Conner's absolutely in play. As I mentioned, in Washington, Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler, that 1-2 punch, I would have no qualms using James Conner and Trey Benson in the same lineup. And on the flip side, right, the DVP for running backs, this is the way you want to attack this game, is the running backs, right? Because Arizona's around 25th overall against running backs. Seattle's 22nd. So there's a give and take here, where if we're going to run a full game stack, it would be James Conner, Trey Benson, probably a little taste of Marvin Harrison. And then the run back for me would be Kenneth Walker III, just for the heck of it. You're going to see how many combined carries from these three running backs. And that's the kind of action I want in my lineup. There's no guesswork when it comes to James Conner and Kenneth Walker. You could completely cut Trey Benson out of it if you wanted to, but Connor and Kenneth Walker III are those bell cow running backs in a way, in theory, right? They get a ton of work, ton of carries here. And Geno Smith or Kyler Murray, that question has been bumped around a whole heck of a lot. The JJ Schultz last time out, Kyler Murray or Jared Goff, Kyler Murray or, Drake May or something silly like that. But to me, Geno Smith at home, the rushing yards are there. And again, Kyler Murray's been has he been a stone cold stud? Maybe that's speaking a little bit out of school. Long gone are those days of, what do you have, a dozen touchdowns on the ground, rushing in a few
He's not
seasons
running
ago.
as much. Yep.
And that might be right. Tua could take a page from that book to be safe, save your head, save your brain. But Seattle, I have Seattle to score 28 points. So you're looking at just a ton of touchdowns. And I know a lot of folks are in on DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith-Njigba, rightfully so. I would prefer Njigba, only $400 cheaper. And that $400 goes a long way once we start to get to the tail end of our lineup build here. But any thoughts on this one, Keith?
Just to be careful with the weather. They are calling for a good bit of rain in this game, which otherwise I would be all over all the wide receivers, like in cash. Like you look at Marvin Harrison Jr., the Seahawks run man at one of the highest rates in the NFL. He's got a 44% target rate with Arizona when facing man defense. So he's probably going to get a lot of looks. Again, it's just so how much are they going to throw on the other side, like versus cover 3. DK Metcalf has absolutely just destroyed it this season, including against my Atlanta Falcons. But I'm with you that, like, the guys I'm looking at in this game are the running backs. Like, I really like James Conner for cash and DraftKings, and I really like Trey Benson as somebody in multi-entry events. You look at Benson, he's played 27% 2 weeks ago, 28% of the snaps last week. They are starting to use him more and more. And then the big thing is, Joe Matz gave me the stat on Friday, when Arizona is within 7 points of a game, like it's James Conner, like 85% of the snaps. The minute it gets to 8 points on either side, that drops down to almost 50%, meaning that if, say, Arizona can get a lead or vice versa, that could end up meaning Benson sees even more snaps than what he has been, which is around that 30% rate. So I agree with you. I would, especially if you're doing afternoon slate games, check the weather and see how bad the rain's going to be. At one point, they were predicting like half an inch throughout the day there. So it'd be sloppy, wet, etc.
On Thursday, I said the same thing. I watch your TikTok, and I'd imagine you do the same thing, because I'll open it up and you're like a hot chick. You like everything all at once, really get my attention. But I said on Thursday Night Football, I said could be about 44 and rainy. And there was a guy, he wasn't rude, but he's like, 44 is nothing. It's not this. I said be a little bit light rain, nothing crazy. And it turned into, it was like 30 degrees and a full snow game. I don't think we're going to get a snow game in Seattle, but it's always rainy and dreary. So, maybe chill out.
And the wind's not bad either, which is a nice thing. Like, it's not like it's going to be really windy and wet. It's just rain.
Yeah, and if it matters, anybody's out there watching, if it matters, aside from Lambeau Field, going to Seattle and watching a game there in person is 1A and 1B on my list of things to do. And the Lions don't even have to be in town. As it stands now, it's 12:33 p.m. Keith, we'll do a little bit of housekeeping briefly, just a quick little promo, see what we get with the website. Go to fantasy6pack.net or find them on Twitter at fantasy6pack. Given the fact it's week 12, a lot of playoff schedules in your seasonal teams are starting to kick off. So if you're in it for that, make sure you get to the website. Joe and all the rest of the crew here that are assembled are just unbelievable. Award-winning rankings. What more do you want? And Stephen H., he does all the IDP stuff. His waiver wire article is beautiful. So playoffs, it's now or never, Keith, right? So get there and look around, or you can go to the Fantasy Six Pack Discord. There's a lot of free channels, or you pay a couple bucks to get the premium channels. The DFS chat is always nuts. Basketball DFS, NHL DFS, everything sports betting wise is going in the Discord too. If your seasonal fantasy team is toast, or if you're like, you know what, I don't want to play DFS, I'm out of the playoffs, you want to make some moves, you want to trade, hit the website. There's trade charts. You can always ask us questions anywhere, this or that kind of deal. So that take a look, and that would be fantastic. Keith, where are we going next in terms of a game? We had New England, Miami, Dallas, Washington, touched on Detroit, talked about the Cards in Seattle. What's your next move here as we have 26 minutes left to fill the void?
The Giants-Bucks game, to me, is very interesting. Obviously, on the Tampa side, I mean, take your pick. Like Baker, to me, seems like a real, value. He's scored 18 points or more on DraftKings in 8 of 10 starts, including 2 of 3 without Evans and Godwin. Evans is obviously coming back. I like that he's rushing for yards. He's had 20 yards or more in 6 games this season. He's thrown 3 passing touchdowns or more in half of his games. So, obviously, I like that. Mike Evans, again, at 7K, feels like obviously the question is, how much is he going to play? Is he on any restrictions returning from the hamstring? If he does, this is an amazing matchup. On passes to the deep left side of the field, Giants rank last in pass defense. On passes deep right side of the field, Giants rank dead last. On passes deep middle, they rank 27th. So, again, Mike Evans, the ultimate big play machine, has a very good chance to go off if given the opportunities. I love both of the Bucs running backs this week. Like, just love them. Like, whether it's now, I like Bucky a lot more, obviously, if it's FanDuel and you're not getting the points per reception. But I think Rachaad White is still a very viable option as well. As we've seen, he has 5 touchdowns, 24 targets, and 20 receptions over his last 4 games. They basically just filled him in to the Chris Godwin role, where it's a lot of the underneath, get the ball out of your hands quickly stuff for Baker. And then on the Giants side, I really like Tyrone Tracy. I know people are scared because of Tommy Cutlets. I get that. But Tracy, remember, converted wide receiver. So he's a very good pass catcher. This is a Bucs team that gives up almost 6 receptions per game and over 40 yards per to opposing running backs. And then the real interesting thing for me, because I think there's still values with how Tampa's done this year, is Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson, because we've seen the Bucs get beat over and over again. I feel more comfortable about Wan'Dale this week because I don't know if, DeVito can actually push the ball down the field. We'll see that this week. And Wan'Dale had a really good game last year versus Green Bay. That upset win, he scored 17 points with Tommy DeVito, a lot of underneath stuff. He had like 7 catches for 79 yards. So I think there's a lot of potential in this game. And if DeVito can move the ball, I think that this could end up being like one of the higher scoring games that people don't expect, because I do not think this Bucs defense is like good by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, they're toast. And just maybe, I don't know, 5-10 minutes ago, Malik Neighbors is going to be active today. He's going to give it a go, and that helps out Tommy Cutlets, Tommy DeVito as much as we can. He was an edit I made to Bottom of the Barrel. It was published, and I'll just make a quick edit. But get this: the Bucs defense is allowing 278.3 passing yards a game, which is second to last. So I don't know why they word it that way. Second, just say 31st in the NFL. In addition, the Bucs have given up 20 passing touchdowns in the NFL so far, which is 28th in the league. So Tommy DeVito very much in play for me in GPP formats. And as you said, Malik Neighbors is there. Tyrone Tracy, I love him. But one guy nobody's really paying that much attention to, and rightfully so, is the rookie tight end Theo Johnson. He's 4.8 on FanDuel. Let me double check. 2.9 on DK. As I look down, it's no surprise, or we said it a million times, right? A good, strong, big tight end can be a nice little safety blanket for a quarterback. And again, Tommy DeVito isn't a rookie. He's not like a deer in the headlights, but did he think he was going to be thrust into this role to start the season? Probably not. And hey, you're in the big time now, kid. I mean, again, he's had practice. He knows what the heck's going on. He's getting full speed reps. But to me, Tommy DeVito, Theo Johnson, I love that 1-2 punch there. And when you look at Malik Neighbors, Tampa Bay's 28th overall, would I prefer him or Wan'Dale Robinson? I would say Wan'Dale Robinson, just from a price perspective. He's only 5.7 on FanDuel. So to me, that's the way I'm leaning. There's also something, but you said Tyrone Tracy, that's fantastic. There's also something about what's his name? Cade Otton, again, back at tight end, but the Giants first overall against opposing tight ends. But as you said, in a game like this, sometimes DVP, can be thrown by the wayside. It's not the end all be all. I've always used it as kind of a starting point for anything that I have to say. It's like, if you say with all due respect, you can say anything you want after
Right.
that. And it's like
No
that same
offense.
yeah, no offense. Same thing with DVP. If I start with DVP, then, you know, hold on to your hats or your butts because, you know, we're going to flow and we're going from there. Nico, I'm shocked he's not in jail. This guy
He's bad, man.
eating a baggie. Hopefully he didn't swallow any of the plastic, or if he did,
I
I'm
hope
sure.
not. There was dog cookies in there. We keep them in the back to try to keep them from, you know, acting too poorly when we're like recording. My wife has her office back there, and
Okay.
yeah, you know, he's got that nose, man. He found them. So,
Yeah, the
so you
little
can tell he looked very guilty. You can go to either my Facebook or my
yeah.
TikTok and see how guilty Nico was. He wouldn't even look at us.
Well,
when we
yeah, he
found
wouldn't
the
even
bag.
look. You're talking and he's like this.
No, not doing it. If you
Not
can't,
doing
if you're not looking at me, you can't see me. That's what he's thinking.
Exactly. It is 12:40 time check, 20 minutes before the 1 p.m. lock. Get your questions rolling in. We've had a bunch. Lamar or Golf, Richardson or Love. Do I risk starting Lad McConkey over Ramondre in the flex full PPR? Mike in Fantasy Six Pack is there in the chat answering all these questions. Well, I want to go back, not go back. You know, we've talked mainly a handful of the 1 p.m. games, Dallas, Washington. What about Denver and Vegas? And to be fair, don't think I will not forget about Frisco at Green Bay. I have something there as well. But when you look at Denver and Vegas, it's kind of, you know, is it too easy, or is it like elementary to say, well, Denver's playing in Vegas, Bo Nix is in play, Javonte Williams, absolutely. But you get to a certain point where if everybody's going to play Bo Nix, or they're asking starters at Bo or somebody else, then we have to dig a little bit deeper on projections and you know, exact yardages from there. One thing I will say on the Vegas side of things, Amir Abdullah looks to be their starting running back. But rookie, I don't want to butcher this kid's last name, Dylan. I'm just going to say Loeb.
You're asking the wrong guy. You know that, bro. I can't pronounce anything correct. So,
so Dylan is in play again, right? Not again. He's never been in play. So what are we going to do with Amir Abdullah, who was a longtime Lion punt returner, kick returner? He's a special teams, you know, guru, right? He's fantastic from that. Jacoby Myers has been mentioned in a lot of circles, but Denver, I don't play with Denver secondary. They're first overall against opposing wide receivers, and is Jacoby Myers has been just a volume guy, right? You know, he's going to get 10 targets. What does he do with them? We'll go from there. I'm out on Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, DJ Turner, Brock Bowers to a certain extent as well. How much do we trust Gardner Minshew to thread the needle or to get, you know, the football where it needs to go to his wide receivers against this, you know, highly opportunistic Denver Broncos DST? As I mentioned, Javonte and Bo Nix. I'll just give you the projection if that matters. And for the first time all season, Bo Nix's price tag went above where I was comfortable with bottom of the barrel. And at this point, season's not even over, but Bo Nix is, I'm already proclaiming Bo Nix as a bottom of the barrel all-star. I have him 21 to 22 completions, around 210 yards. And, you know, why can't he get the 3 or something? Because I don't think Denver is necessarily going to need, I don't think they're going to need to attempt 40 passes in this one. They can use Javonte and go from there. But as I said, Bo Nix, 21, 22 completions, 210 yards, a pair of touchdown passes, and around 6 to 7 carries for another 35 or 40 yards, kind of optimistic projection on the ground, but I think he finds the end zone again on the ground. So another 3 touchdown game for Bo Nix, and to go along with around 230, 240 all-purpose yards. Anything stand out to you in this one, Keith?
Just that I think Abdullah on DraftKings for cash games is a very safe play. He's 4,300. We've seen Alexander Madison, right, at a more expensive price than this, be, you know, fantasy relevant because of the pass catching. And that's why I think Abdullah is definitely worth the play. I mean, again, for our cash, you know, Dave Eddy kind of taught me this rule, and I say the same thing. You're just looking for 3 times their salary. So we're talking about 13, you know, points basically. He can absolutely got 10 points last week and didn't even play that much again because of the pass catching. 3 catches, 16 yards, a touchdown. Brock Bowers for me actually is somebody that I want in a lot of lineups. He is very good versus man defense, which the Broncos run a lot. All of his numbers actually go up. It's the volume since the Adams trade. 6 games, 75 targets, 50 receptions, right at 20 points per game on DK. Remember, he had against this Denver defense, first game without Adams, 12 targets, 8 catches, 97 yards, and a touchdown. 23.7 points scored that week. That was the second highest total, or was the highest until he went, bananas last week. Bo Nix is, to me, definitely a cash game start. I'm actually doing the weird thing where I'm either playing him naked or I'm not playing him at all. Like I don't want to stack him. It's too risky with the other options. I don't trust Javonte Williams because I have guys like Kareem Hunt and all these other people, only, Brian Robinson. The Bucks running backs are just a few $100s more. But with Nix, we saw it again last week. When he is pressured, he's not that great. When he has a clean pocket, he's phenomenal. He plays the Falcons, who have the worst pass rush in the NFL. We rank 32nd. What does he do? He goes bananas, right? Well, the Raiders, I know everybody assumes because they have that one good defensive lineman that, they're really good. They're 24th in pressure rate. So he's probably going to have a clean pocket again. That means I expect him to do very well. He's not quite reached that price where he's too expensive for me for cash, because if we're doing the 3X thing, he only needs 19 points. And he's getting there. He's basically done that, every week now for going on almost 2 months. So love Bo Nix, love Bowers. The Abdullah makes a lot of sense to me. Other than that, like, they're not bad MME plays or whatever, but I would not touch the rest of the guys for cash.
Got it. We're about 15 minutes away from lock, and there's a question that was just asked by Braden Powell. Looks like Fantasy Six Pack has answered that, but I want to dig into it briefly because as you were talking, I'm writing down projections here. Aaron Jones or Cortland Sutton. I have Aaron Jones 14 to 15 carries, around 70 yards, plus 2 to 3 receptions for another 30 yards. So you're looking at 100 all-purpose yards, but can he find the end zone? That's going to be the difference between the two, because I have Sutton 5 to 6 receptions, around 60 yards, and a touchdown reception. And Powell cannot afford. He's got to have a perfect lineup this week because he's one game out and he needs a win here. Fantasy Six Pack says Aaron Jones over Sutton, and it's not close. I would lean that way as well because we know what we're going. We kind of know what we're going to get out of Aaron Jones. Minnesota's they're playing. Where are they? They're playing in Chicago.
They're going to lean on him big time. You're not going to have Darnold throwing it 30 times in Chicago. I don't think.
Exactly, because right now Chicago's 3rd overall against opposing wide receivers. So to me, it is Aaron Jones, and it's close. And I would tell you this, Braden, what's the rest of your lineup look like where you can't play both of these guys? There's got to be another guy in the wide receiver spot or the flex spot where you could bump someone out for Cortland Sutton because he is fantastic play as well. So 13 minutes out from lock, and we'll end this thing strong and we'll get rolling. San Francisco goes to Green Bay to battle the Packers. Several storylines here in this one. Brock Purdy is not going to be playing. One of the Bosa brothers is not playing. So a lot of folks think that Green Bay is going to be on easy street today at home because Brandon Allen is now going to be the starting quarterback for San Francisco. What does that do to Deebo Samuel, Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle? Where are we going there? When you look at the Packers side of things, Packers have always been, good and strong, especially at home. I personally believe it's just going to be one of those, everybody put Jordan Love down or he stinks. He hasn't been doing much. Today is going to be one of those games where like, this Jordan Love is an outstanding quarterback. And what does that mean? I'm thinking 3 touchdown passes, the huge, 280 to 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. And again, that's my own personal opinion, not actually written down anywhere in my projections. It's just one of those weird, you would know what I'm talking about, a feeling that you have. Again, it's a process of elimination, the roulette wheel, just like Sam Laporta. I'm putting that same odds and chips down on Jordan Love. And right now, Frisco's 9th overall against opposing quarterbacks, but Bosa is such a force on that edge getting to the court. He's a motor guy, right? He's like TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Aiden Hutchinson in a way where he's just go, go, go. And that is that's a drastic drop off for the San Francisco pass rush without Bosa. So give me Jordan Love. I love the idea of Josh Jacobs as well. I know this broadcast isn't very bottom of the barrel like because I'm just saying whoever I want. And I guess what Keith and I are allowed to do that.
You're allowed to do whatever the hell you want. It's our show.
So to me, if it makes sense, I always work my way back or in a weird game. I have around 6 total touchdowns scored in this one. I have Green Bay to win 24-21. So where are we going to give those touchdowns out? I said Love is going to throw for 3. I think Reed and Watson catch one. I think Josh Jacobs could find the end zone as well. And that would bump it up to 28 points for Green Bay. But hey, anything is possible. Where are you going in this game, if anything? Maybe talk about Juwan Jennings. I feel like you're chomping at the bit.
Yeah, no, I love Juwan Jennings. I know a lot of people are very concerned about Allen. I get it, but there's a lot of talk in San Francisco that Shanahan has been frustrated with Brock Purdy, quote unquote, not running his offense. Now, we saw this in Green Bay, you remember, with Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love came in immediately, and the offense actually got better. I am by no means saying that the offense is going to get better, but I promise you, if Shanahan calls a 3-step drop, Allen is going to take 3 steps and throw it. If he calls a 5-step drop, he's going to drop 5 steps and throw it. And it's just Jennings is right now seeing a 41% first read target share in this Niners offense. So if that's what Shanahan is drawing up is 41% of plays to go to Jennings, even with Allen in, I think that's going to happen a lot. I also think it's very good, obviously, for CMC. We're going to find out what CMC, has left in the tank or what he is this year today, because they're going to lean on him, obviously. Like, they're going to have to. You don't want Allen having to drop back a bunch. What's the best thing that can help a quarterback, a run game to where you can do play action pass? So I like that. On the Green Bay side, I'm with you. Like, I think a lot of Jacobs. I do like Jaden Reed this week. I think that, he's their best wide receiver. They need him to show up today to get this dub. But overall, this is a game that I'm not basically it's CMC and Jennings and Cash, the only 2 guys I'm even considering. And even as much as I like CMC, I'd rather spend $7,500 on Devon Achane than spend, the 8K plus on CMC.
Yeah, we could see a case here where Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, and Romeo,
for sure.
Dobbs, all 3 of them, find the end zone. What's the yardage looking like? I have Dobbs in bottom of the barrel, 4 to 5 receptions, 45 to 50 yards and a touchdown. The chance that Watson scores some long touchdown, that would actually be fun. JMO or Christian Watson, 50 plus yard touchdown, over or under on both of those guys. And Reed is very dynamic, and it's fantastic. Question here, is it crazy to start Will Dissly over Kraft? I forget what the heck that guy's first name
I actually think that Tucker, I think that's actually a smart play, because we've seen with Kraft, it's like very inconsistent. Like, he either seems to have a monster game or do nothing. Dissly is without a doubt the number 1 tight end in this offense. And actually the Ravens run a lot of cover 3, which he's been pretty good against. And they've also been pretty good against like certain wide receivers. Like McConkey actually does not have the greatest matchup to where Quentin Johnson has a good matchup. And I just think that that's going to turn into a slugfest. And I think that means there's going to be a lot more short passes. That's good for Dissly. That's good for Johnson. I don't think the Chargers are going to push it as much because they want to condense that game, right? Like if I was the Chargers, I don't want to get into a shootout with the Ravens. I want to try to beat them playing more Chargers ball.
Absolutely. And that one is Monday Night Football. Kickoff there is 8:15, over-unders around 51 points. And I think we do see an over in that one. Keith, before we split, any oddball players or scenarios that you've thought about leading up to the 1 p.m. lock here today?
There's one guy that he's not cheap or anything, but it just like he's in almost all my lineups. It's Nico Collins, 7,600 versus the Titans. Same for Stroud. If you go back, like seriously, if you have time, go back and look at the home splits, just the home games for Stroud and Collins. They are so much better at home. Like it's unbelievable. And like, for instance, this year, Nico, he's ran 82 routes at home, 27 targets, 22 receptions, 364 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then the other thing people say is, well, look at that, fourth ranking for the Titans versus wide receivers. A, they play in the AFC South, not exactly teams that, sling it. B, they just put Snead, who was their big signing, on IR. So now they're down to one good cornerback. And I think that the Texans need to get going. Again, like kind of what I was saying earlier, like for me, you saw it last week. They were up huge on the Cowboys. What were they doing late? They were still throwing. They want to get Stroud back to the level that they saw last year. Nico Collins, people were concerned because he played 40% of the snaps. Still saw 7 targets. If he would have not had that long touchdown call back, he would have still had a monster game. I love Nico Collins versus the Titans. And on the other side, I love Nick Westbrook-Akeem versus the Texans, who's 4,100, scored a touchdown in 5 of 6, and Titans are going to be down and slinging. That's great for Westbrook-Ikhine. Absolutely.
A bottom of the barrel guy. And I've never been in a situation like we have on Discord where there's never anybody that's agreeing. I could say the sky is blue and Dave would go, I don't want to say it's blue. There's a better way. I'm like, the sky is the sky. I don't know how else to put it. Anybody out there still watching, thank you. Hit the website, ask any questions you got from there. I have a pretty cool parlay here that I'm going to give out, and it's all alternate spreads. It's whacked out, but the odds could be fantastic. We didn't talk about Kansas City at Carolina. That game's going to go how we expect it to go. While I had gone away since then, this weird odd feeling that Bryce Young might have gone for 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns.
Tavian Sanders, good DK play this week, 3,400, a lot of receptions, get up tight ends.
Exactly. So I'm going to start there. I would actually take Kansas City minus 20 points, which is absolutely nuts.
No, I like that.
That's more of a college spread, right? But in the NFL, these, men,
your boys, they were talking about the Lions would have hit, I think, that 4 times this year, and it's usually about 10, 11 to 1.
Yeah, they won by 46 points or something crazy last week. So give me Kansas City minus 20. And right now the spread is only 11 minus Kansas City, 11.5. The Lions right now, they're minus 10. I would take Detroit minus 14.5. When you move down the list, I have New England to win this game outright, and they're getting points. That is a wonderful mix. They're getting 7.5 points. So I'm going to stick with the standard line there, New England plus 7.5. And then Washington, they're minus 10.5 points, but why not bump it up to 14.5? All 3 of those are just plus odds. You can hammer that. And if you want to, you can mix in some anytime touchdown bets. I mean, it's already looking like a lotto ticket, right? $10 would probably get you $100,000. You run in some safe anytime touchdown bets, but are anytime touchdown bets ever really safe? But again, you're going to take Kansas City to win by that much. I'm taking them to win that by that much, not you. If you're going to take KC minus 20, Lions minus 14, Washington minus 14.5, then double down on anytime touchdown players from those games, right? Kansas City, Kelsey to score a touchdown, Hunt to score a touchdown, Gibbs and Demont to score touchdowns. And then in Washington, same deal. Terry McLaurin to score a touchdown, and then maybe Jaden Daniels to rush one in there. It's got to be $10. Would probably win you $1 million on that silly thing. So, gamble and bet responsibly. It's a fun lotto ticket kind of Sunday, but it has a good thought process, at least in my weird and whacked out brain. So, Keith, before we split, anything on the top of your mind you want to mention before we get out of here?
No, just everybody have a very happy Thanksgiving, and we'll be back next week to help you out with the Turkey Day slate, and then the full slate on Sunday.
Absolutely, and folks can if you're going, thank you, Chris. Not that big of a deal, but on Thursday, Thanksgiving, there will be videos, 1 video, 3 videos. We're going to see, 1 video would be cool, but if I could triple charge Joe for the 3 video special here. But
hardest working man in show business.
That's you. Every time I turn my phone on, you're broadcasting somewhere. So, what can you do? I appreciate the work ethic, and don't be afraid. Philly is playing at the Rams tonight, 8:20 kickoff, over unders 49 total points. There will be a Sunday night single game slate video here soon. So be good, be safe, and reach out to those that you love the most. You haven't talked to Grandma in a minute, send her a card, call your parents, just check in, say hello. Everybody worries, people will worry about you. We're all important folks in some little circle. So be good, be safe, and we will see you again soon. Sunday night, Monday night, and then we got Thanksgiving rolling. Be good. Bye-bye.